Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Ingalls Studios. This is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Live from the Ingalls Studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dogs eat! Let them on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh, my God. The Jets killed him.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. We are seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel. That way you can join us in the chat, get all your thoughts in on this. We don't have a branded name for Thursdays yet.
Threadbare Thursday.
Oh, that's right. See, it's been a whole year. My brain is just completely checked out today for some reason.
It's on top of the YouTube stream.
Look, when you walk into the doorway, right, facing an 18-hour day, the brain kind of does weird things to you. So, here we are. Second leg of the 3-legger day.
I mean, yeah, Dank's got an 18-hour day, and I'm gonna hit a soft 6, or as I like to call it, the Shannon Sharpe. Let's go!
Oh no!
Well, I'm gonna do a bunch of those today. I'm gonna do a bunch of those today because Tank does not know what I'm talking about.
I don't.
No clue. He has no clue what that joke meant.
No.
None.
No.
And I am excited to see his face when I tell the story in 28 minutes.
Apparently, Shannon Sharpe is in the news today, and I am completely unaware.
Yeah, he did a thing. He did a thing you're not supposed to do. And it's so good. It's a good day. It's a great day to be alive. I'm wearing Florida State garnet, or South Carolina garnet, depending on how you want to look at that.
Right.
We're headed to Columbia. We'll be leaving after the show tomorrow, getting set up for game day. Got the home opener of the Carolina Panthers. It's a great day to be alive.
We got a lot of stuff going on, and we are glad that you are along on the ride with us for this Threadbare Thursday. So how Threadbare Thursdays work is pretty much free-for-all. Yes. Whatever you want to talk about, whatever's been on your mind lately this week, we will get into it here on the program. Just all you got to do is hit us up on the YouTube, or you can send us a message via social media at The Sportsocracy on all of them. Also, be on the lookout for the Kent Briggs Regular Guy podcast.
It is out now. Thank you to all of the people that listened last night, listened this morning. We're sending out invites as quickly as Facebook will allow us to. Apparently, that's the one thing they're afraid of spam, so you can only send out 1,000 per account.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, there are singles in my area that have wanted to see me for 7 years. Figure out your spam, Meta.
The Kent Briggs Regular Guy podcast, episode 1, posted at 8 o'clock last night. That is going to be an ongoing series for several weeks here in the Sportsocracy. Again, very cool. You want to check out the interview that we did with Kent yesterday. He'll be on with us every week throughout the football season. Today, we've got Jones Angel. He'll be on with us at 1 o'clock for Tar Heel time. We'll talk about what's coming up for the Tar Heels this week after the win over Charlotte last week. Amorian Hampton getting a lot of love in the press this week. So we'll catch up with Jones, see what all's going down in Chapel Hill. Also had to talk to him about what's going on with the Dean Dome. Apparently there's a big discussion there about tearing down the Dean Dome. Are we replacing it? Are we keeping it for the students and building a new stadium somewhere outside of the city?
Or just do what you did last time. Just leave it there, and we'll use it for stuff. Woolen,
that's what they want. That's what the students want. The students want the access still to the Ding Dome.
That's what they've done with every other arena.
Yeah, so let's leave it up. Let's have that be the new volleyball arena or whatever.
I'll put it this way. I'm 37 years old. I played in Woolen Gym.
Mm-hmm.
I've played in Woolen. I've played in Carmichael. I've played at the Ding Dome.
Now, Brian Hall's played in there. He's talked about going to camp there when he was in high school.
Woolen's fun. Especially when you're a big dude and you could jump.
Yep.
Because you kind of feel like you're going to rip the basket down every time you get up there.
Mm-hmm.
But the way Threadbare Thursday works is we go full Jim Rome. There's one topic that we wanted to start with, and then we let you drive the show. And here's what I'm burning on. Kirk Cousins this is not going well. Have you read the report from Mike Florio and Chris Sims?
No. What did they say?
They went back and watched the tape.
Mm-hmm.
And there were rumors about this, that Kirk couldn't take snaps from under center because the Achilles is still not right. I read this and went back and watched it, and it pains me to say this, and these are words that I never thought I would put in a sentence together.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Florio's right.
Oh.
He can't push off. He cannot propel off that back foot. And it was so obvious against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I did not narrow in on that game. You've got 10 games going at once, and you're trying to pay attention to the games that really matter, and Atlanta-Pittsburgh was just a slugfest.
So is this why they were running the pistol so much to protect him?
Because he can't.
Right, but he also couldn't create anything because he can't move.
Well, and really what you're looking for, Kirk was always a very kind of stereotypical passer that has the technique where you see him push off the back foot. His feet were parallel. You cannot be accurate that way. You can't. It's not physically possible. At least not on a consistent basis. And now I'm starting to wonder, as was opined in this op-ed, is this why we didn't see Michael Penix in the preseason? Because Raheem Morrison knew this. And he knew if Penix came in against second and third team guys and lit it up, and you see what I'm afraid you're going to see this weekend against the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday Night Football, we want Penix chance would be raining from the crowd in Atlanta.
Yeah. I don't get it. If he's not right, then why are we doing this? Why are we playing him?
I only have one. I've only got one explanation as to why that could be. And by the way, it's on Monday night, and it's in Philadelphia. They play next Sunday night against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
You've got a brain trust here, Terry Fontenot, the front office of the Atlanta Falcons, that you're not on the steadiest of ground. You've made some poor decisions here. And if you have to literally look at your fan base 2 weeks into the season and go, Kirk's not right. We set this money on fire. Kirk's not right. I think it's your death knell.
Well, it's not. I mean, it's not setting the money on. You are setting the money on fire if you play him and he gets hurt worse. That's what I'm always worried about.
I don't think there's a – look, I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on television. I don't really think there's a risk of that.
I mean, if you're playing on an Achilles that's not fully healed.
I don't think it's a not fully healed.
It's just not
I just
there.
think it's not right.
Oh, okay. Well,
I think he's a 36-year-old man that has now had an injury that is catastrophic.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't come back right from it. And I don't know if there's a thing you can do about it.
I would think sit him, work it, whatever you got to do, therapeutic, cryogenics. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm just thinking there's got to be something in here to try to fix this.
If you sit him, you're fired.
You think so?
You sit him, you're fired. Now, I'm not talking about the coaching staff. The coaching staff's brand new. You didn't really ask for this. This was Terry Fontenot.
Yeah. Terry
Fontenot knows. If I set $90 million on fire, which is basically what they're committed to Kirk Cousins, there's no way for me to recover. Because, and this is the same problem that I said when you drafted Michael Penix. If you were in love with Penix, just take Penix. You couldn't possibly have known the medical on Kirk Cousins. They could have signed off on the surgery. They could have signed off that it was successful. which I laugh every time I hear that. The next time I hear this surgery was not a success. We actually operated on the wrong leg. Very unfortunate. We were supposed to go red light, green light, and we redded when we were supposed to green, and we greened when we were supposed to red.
I mean, it has happened before.
It actually happened to a friend of mine, which is I'll never understand. How do you do that?
Well, I mean, I get why they say things like that. The surgery was successful. That's so you know that there wasn't a further complication, right? We didn't get in there and find out that there were – who was that they were working on a few years ago that they found blood clots? Was that Trent Williams? It was one offensive lineman. I can't remember who it was. Anyway, where they get in there and they find something different. So I get that. But the recovery is a different animal. Right, the surgery was successful, awesome. I can attach everything properly by the book. You know, hopefully not like that doctor in India the other day. There was a story that there's a doctor in India that was caught in the operating room using a YouTube video to do the surgery that he was like. That's okay if you're changing your own oil. I don't think we're going to be using that.
You could have told me that was in Indiana, and I would have just followed it up with thanks, Obamacare.
I can attach everything back the way it needs to go, though. I can't control how your body responds and how you heal and whether or not there's going to be some scar tissue or arthritis or whatever is going to crop up in that Achilles that's going to make this 36-year-old athlete not be able to push off like he was before. I'm just saying if there's a problem, you got to sit him to fix it to save the rest of the contract.
And that's adorable that you think that's how this works. It's not. It's just not. This is not how business is done. You screwed up. If you're Terry Fontenot, you made a mistake. Notorious B.I.G. just threw out it's a conspiracy theory that I've heard a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They saw how hurt Kirk was, and they wanted to hide it, which is why they took Penix in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that from more than one person. That they got him in the building and went, uh-oh, this is not good.
Which would make that a better move. Right? It would give
Penix?
it gives you the backup, right? The built-in excuse for making the draft pick that everybody said you were crazy about.
We still set $90 million on fire. This is a zero-sum game.
Yeah.
There's no way out of this. This is the Spider-Man with guns pointed at each other. You can do everything right from here and still have done it wrong because there's only three paths here. Either Kirk's your guy, Penix is your guy, or none of them are your guy. Now here's where that falls into a problem. If Kirk's your guy, you wasted a first-round pick on with a 36-year-old quarterback, and you have deficiencies that kind of showed up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kirk was the biggest problem. He wasn't the only problem. If Penix is your guy, you set $90 million on fire with Kirk Cousins. If neither one of them's your guy, you're all fired anyway. Because there's no getting out of this alive for anybody. And it's, to me, the Falcons have been, this is GM 101. You have to CYA, cover your keister. And Terry Fontenot didn't do it. He didn't do it. He panicked. He was the only market on Kirk Cousins. I will maintain it should tell you that Minnesota was not all that invested in bringing him back. That should have told all of you something. Me included. You rushed to judgment, you gave him the money, and you went, we're done, and you got him in the building and went, we're not done. And now you're trying to make chicken salad out of chicken excrement, and that's hard to do. But you've got expectations. Oh, we're going to win the division, and we're going to go to the playoffs, and we're going to win a game, and we might go to the Super Bowl.
When you make a move like this, though, and you sign a guy like Kirk Cousins, you sign him to the contract, at what point did you drop the ball on all of this?
For
is
me,
there not a vetting where I have to put you through the physical to find out where you're at?
Well, that's it. I said that earlier. He was only 3 months out of surgery. You don't know any of this. He hasn't put weight on it at this point, which is something I said at the beginning of, how sure are you he's going to bounce back from this? Aaron Rodgers at times has looked gimpy. Kirk Cousins looks worse than Aaron Rodgers, and it ain't close. And I'm not sure I couldn't beat Aaron in a foot race right now. But he's Aaron Rodgers. Aaron always had an ability to just cobble it together. And I noticed it against San Francisco. He's not pushing off that back leg. He wasn't taking deep shots. It was a lot more flick of the wrist. That's not how Kirk Cousins works. So, yeah, I mean, ideally, would there be a time that you could sign off on a physical? Yeah. They brought him in for a physical. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
But you don't know what's going to happen when he starts running.
Mm-hmm. Well,
you're still in a non-con time of his rehab where he cannot put weight on that leg, so you have no clue.
Right.
My argument would be, well, that should have just been, we're good. Because, I mean, who was going to run out to sign him? The Pittsburgh Steelers, who had no money whatsoever?
Yeah.
You didn't have any competition. It was bungled by the Falcons, and now you're trying to cover yourself and make it to where you survive. We have our first Super Chat of the day.
All right. And that, I just, baffling to me.
Yeah! Soaring Eagle asked, is Terry Fontenot in the Scott Fitterer position? Barring him having evidence of Arthur Blank doing awful things. I'm not reading that. He's essentially unemployed right now, basically. That's where you're at. And Fontenot from the top down has got a coach that he's got a good rapport with, and he's telling Raheem Morris, we have to roll with Kirk until we can't roll with Kirk anymore. That's just the way it works.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you roll out Michael Penix, and Michael Penix isn't just flawless, I look like an idiot. And he's not going to be flawless. He's not. He's an older guy that played in a pick-and-pop scheme. It's not NFL football, and you're going up against starters in the NFL. And now you've got a first-round pick that looks, I don't know, like the other rookies that played in week one. You've got a broken starting quarterback, and Terry Fontenot is a dead man walking. That's why Michael Penix is the hope that sits on the bench.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. It's a Threadbare Thursday. Get your questions, topics, whatever, in the YouTube chat. We'll be right back.
Don't miss iHeart Asheville's Show Love Fest, presented by HCA Healthcare and Mission Health. A day of gratitude for good health and healthcare workers. Saturday, September 14th at Center Park in Asheville from 12 to 4. Bring your lawn chairs. Details at showlovefest.com.
Did you know you can now use your body's own healing properties to revitalize your achy joints and get real lasting pain relief? I'm talking about advanced regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. If you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulder, this is something you need to check out. Everybody's talking about regenerative medicine, and the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics are experts in these amazing treatments. People here rave about the results. You can enhance your joints, improve mobility, and get back to doing the stuff you love without pain and without drugs or surgery or downtime. Under the leadership of Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting breakthrough using cellular therapies. They've got tens of thousands of satisfied patients, and the consultation is totally free. So call now. Take action to get lasting joint pain relief with help from QC Kinetics. Call 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F-words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated. And you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine.
Not fun.
Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. We find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks,
"How's your French going?"
you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. Freedom in fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dale's available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dale's salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your dinner. Though we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
It's time to kick off the perfect tailgate and take your team to Ingles. Chips and guac made fresh in store every day. The best meat in town packaged fresh every day. And smiling faces giving you their best every day. Let's be real. In the South, football season is our favorite season of the year. There's a lot to smile about, especially with deals like these. Ingles. Low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
It is ESPN Asheville, the Sportsocracy, celebrating the first Threadbare Thursday of the NFL season. Week 2 starts tonight. Jeremy will have his best picks of the night coming up for you later on in the program. Thursday night football, Buffalo Bills, and the Miami Dolphins.
Does this not feel like a really important game for week 2?
Yes, it does. I think, to me, it's this game sets a trajectory for the rest of the season. If Josh Allen comes out and Josh Allen's the Miami Dolphins, has he? What's his record against the Dolphins is insane, is it not? I feel like he has every year, at least that one game. Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like every year he has that at least that one game where he just destroys them.
Who's this game?
10-2.
Who is this game more important for? I have a weird feeling we're not going to agree on this.
I want to say it's more important for Buffalo to get off to a hot start, especially seeing as how Miami may be down several weapons. I think that's where I'm settling. I think it's more important for Buffalo.
Well, we agreed on the team, but we didn't agree on the reason.
Okay.
Miami's next 4 weeks are at Seattle, the Titans, at the Patriots, at the Colts, and then they've got one on the backside of that with the Cardinals.
Okay.
The Bills do not have that luxury.
Right.
They go Jaguars, at the Ravens, at the Texans, at the Jets, Titans, Seahawks, Dolphins again.
All right, so Buffalo's got to pick up a win or another one may be hard to come by.
Well, things could spiral for Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Look, they were not great against Arizona. If Kyler Murray wasn't, Kyler Murray, you probably would have lost because you did leave Marvin Harrison Jr. wide open. He just didn't see him and then didn't take responsibility for it, but that's something we'll talk about later in the show.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If Buffalo were to lose here, you've got a nice long layoff until the Monday night game with Jacksonville. That Jacksonville game would become must-win because you go on the road after that. They're not home again for almost a month. They play September 23rd against the Jaguars. They don't come back to Buffalo until October 20th. And none of those 3 are exactly fun road trips. You lose tonight, this could go off the rails in a hurry because you're talking about a Bills team that could be sitting at 2-4.
Right.
With then absolute must-wins against the Titans and Seahawks. Miami,
the question is, why does Josh Allen keep doing this to them, and have they fixed whatever it is to stop him?
Well, the problem that Miami has had for a long time, and you got to understand this is a different squad, this is a different defense, this is a different a lot of things. One of the problems that they've had is that they do not get consistent pass rush on him. And you let him sit back there in the pocket, he's going to bleed you like a catfish. I don't necessarily know that that's going to be I don't know that he can replicate that again tonight because you don't have a Stephon Diggs. You don't have a Gabriel Davis. You're really counting on some new pieces. But I just have this burning feeling that Buffalo's going to find a way to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
In Miami on Thursday night, even though it does fly in the face of my three rules. Who has the better coach?
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's Miami.
Agreed.
Better quarterback goes to the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
Who's at home? It's always the tiebreaker.
Right.
It's Miami Dolphins.
Mm-hmm. The problem is, or the problem that I have looking at who's going to win this game is, are the Bills good? Blanket question. Are they good? If they are, then Miami probably won't win. I know that's a little cut and dry. That's a little black and white world I'm living in here. But that seems to be the way this goes. Miami can trounce the bad teams, play close, maybe get a game against a good team here and there. But that might be the real litmus test of whether or not the Buffalo Bills are good, is whether or not Miami can beat them.
Well, and it's funny to me the way the narrative will go depending on how tonight plays out.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like if Buffalo goes 2-0, Miami goes to 1-1, the narrative writes itself. Oh, look, Josh Allen's found a way to do it again without weapons.
Yep.
Oh, look, Buffalo's still the best team in the AFC East, and the Miami Dolphins still can't beat good teams.
Mm-hmm.
What is the story if Miami wins? That doesn't write itself as easily.
Right.
Because then you're going to have some real legit look in the mirror moments of, well, that's 2 wins for the Dolphins over practically two teams that are better than practically anybody they beat last year. Outside of the Dallas Cowboys is not practically. It is 2 better teams than they beat at all last year.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Buffalo sitting at 1-1, struggled at home with the Arizona Cardinals, and now you go into just a god-awful section of the schedule.
That's the thing that would scare me if I were a Bills fan was, giving up points like we did to Arizona. The Dolphins should be better than that. Of course, they weren't last week against Jacksonville, and that's where I have the problem. Miami's supposed to be hell on wheels, just can't keep up with them. You got to have the offense to shoot out with me. Well, Jacksonville held them in check last week. And they struggled for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
What if that was their fluke game? And then they come out here and dust Buffalo.
I
Then
don't see any way
the narrative goes crazy.
I don't see any way they dust Buffalo. I do find it funny that Miami's not even a full field goal favorite at home.
That does seem odd.
It doesn't to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you why later on in the show.
Okay.
That feels like Vegas doing that thing that Vegas does, is they have a definitive lean, and they're going to dare you to go against it. And I'm not falling for it.
Okay. Notorious says the Dolphins just looked unprepared last week, point blank. It looked like everybody didn't know the playbook. Well, I would accept that excuse for the offensive line because they got a few new pieces on the offensive line, don't they? But for the most part, that team should know what they're doing by now.
It was, for me, they just looked discombobulated. And you can say it's what happened to Tyreek Hill before the game with Calais Campbell and Jonnu Smith.
Could be.
I don't know.
Could be.
I've heard that excuse.
Could be because the whole team was wrapped up in that. You have Tyreek who got pulled over, which I got to give him kudos for coming out and saying I could have done better in that situation. You don't often hear that from guys in this situation, so I do give him credit for that. But you had Calais and the other teammates get involved. It was a social media thing. Maybe that did take the focus off the game, and so we just kind of stumbled through it because we're all on edge because this thing off the field has happened just before kickoff. And so it's hard. You get thrown off your game, I guess. I mean, I don't know how legitimate of an excuse that is, but it is there, right? I know when things are going crazy in my life and I come in here, my mind's not completely on what I'm doing, and that's when you hear me fire, the wrong bed at the wrong break or whatever. It's very easy to get distracted with your outside life. And if something like that happens right before go time, it's hard to wrap your brain around it and salvage the game. The good news for them is they were able to come through it and get the victory in the end.
It's kind of hard to salvage, like, whatever's happening with the lights in this room.
Yeah,
right
that's
now. Why did it
unsettling.
turn into a bad horror movie in here? Like, as we started talking about the Dolphins and the Bills.
I don't know. Is that a sign from above? Or
I feel like
or
we're
what?
in the movie Hostel, and somebody's about to walk in here with a chainsaw.
Yeah. PO'd Browns fan says Buffalo wins outright, in his view. Andreas Pinckney suggests maybe they just overlooked the Jags. I'm not sure how you overlook your first opponent of the season, but I get that Buffalo was next, and that's the game that we got to make sure we're right for, because Josh Allen always kills us. Maybe. It's hard for me to believe, though, that the team got snuck up on in the first game of the season. But again, there were so many other extenuating circumstances, so many other factors that were going on at the time. Hopefully Devin Achan's ready to go for the game tonight. I know Mike, he was, we were telepathically communicating because we have such a great bond.
I do want to know, how did you not get that phone number, bro? Like, I mean, coffee's for closers, and you got to work on your flirting game.
I do need to work on that.
You got to get them digits,
but
bro.
Mike's really excited about the possibility of Devin Achan getting the full workload as the running back this week, with Raheem Mostert being out. Jalen Wright getting involved as well in the game. And then, of course, he's going to sneak in Jeff Wilson Jr. for 3 touchdowns.
That's
ruin
what he does.
Yeah, and ruin make him your captain tonight. on the captain showdown on DraftKings. Maybe that'd be your sneaky play of the night. Do not do that. Don't take my advice on that stuff.
I don't think it's as bad as you might.
Really? Okay, maybe I'm right about that. It just seemed like a good savings, and you never know, because Jeff Wilson likes to have those games.
It's also going to be real common.
Oh, I'm sure it will be.
Real common.
You got the analytics on it over there?
I don't have a number on it, but I can tell you the number in my head, and
Right.
I'll bet you he is 75% rostered. And I'll bet he's 40% in the captain slot. Because with him, you can do anything you want.
Absolutely.
I can have everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Go out and get Tyreek, and can you play Tyreek and Jalen Waddle if you do that?
Yeah. And that's a lineup.
May not be a bad way to go.
And that's a lineup that just straight up goes hard.
Mm-hmm.
Much like the story that I will tell after the break.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Clouds in this afternoon, a southeast breeze, and probably climbing just above 70 degrees. And then as we watch what's left of Francine continue to weaken and go well west of us, some of the eastern edges of the precipitation start to spread some showers in here tonight. 60. Scattered showers, maybe an afternoon thunderstorm tomorrow near 70 degrees with a gusty breeze. Friday night and Saturday, scattered showers and thunderstorms. At this point, doesn't look like widespread heavy rain or severe weather. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Dairy Queen. Hey, DQ fans, they've got the deal of the century for you. Download the DQ app and get buy one, get one free Blizzard treats. Just like that, you can get any 2 Blizzard treats for the price of 1. For a limited time only. Happy tastes good.
Hi, this is Senator Rachel Hunt, and I'm running for Lieutenant Governor in the November 5th general election. Have your voice be heard. Make sure you register to vote today. Your vote counts.
A public service announcement from iHeartMedia Asheville.
What's wrong?
My travel rewards card didn't earn enough miles for my vacation.
Are you crying? Are you crying because of that other credit card?
Uh-huh.
Well, switch to the Capital One Venture card. Venture lets you redeem miles on any travel purchase.
Really?
Yep, and you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every single day. The Capital One Venture card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. Robert Half is here to help. Their recruiting professionals utilize their award-winning AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. At Robert Half, they know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
Sometimes it's the little victories that mean the most. At Ingalls, we know there's no one you'd rather share those miniature memorable moments with than family. Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. This is JW with Parks Fort Hendersonville, and I'm so excited to introduce our first Parks Promise community hero, the American Red Cross of Western North Carolina. The need for blood is so important, and in the summer months, the need is even greater. Did you know that you can donate every 56 days? Save lives this summer. Head to redcross.org to schedule an appointment or find a blood drive near you. Congratulations to the American Red Cross, our Parks Promise community hero.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. Freedom in fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dale's available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dale's salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your dinner. Though, we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
You're in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400 on a Threadbare Thursday. And look, we're going to Charlotte on Sunday.
Yes.
Right? So we'll be headed down on the Living the Dream tour tomorrow night, going down to Columbia, South Carolina.
We will be present and accounted for before the sun comes up.
Yes.
In Columbia with game day.
You got to be up there. You got to be up before the birds, Jeremy, to get the primo parking spots.
Oh, that's fine.
Down at Williams-Brice Stadium. So
we're staying not far from where we're parking.
So we're going to go South Carolina LSU for the Living the Dream stop on Saturday. And then we're going to Charlotte on Sunday for the Los Angeles Chargers and the Carolina Panthers, the home opener of the Carolina Panthers. And if you're interested in going to the game, this is a Tank Spencer kind of game. This is affordable seats can be had in Bank of America Stadium for the worst team in the league that just got demolished by the New Orleans Saints. We got second lowest ticket prices of the week. Would you like to take a guess on how much tickets are going for this game? I'll just give you.
Are you just talking about get-in price?
I'll just give you some other examples. Yeah, tickets. Well, where it says on the website, tickets as low as. The as low as price for games like, the Green Bay Packers and the Indianapolis Colts is $81. It's $106 for Minnesota hosting the San Francisco 49ers. $142 for the Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Cincinnati Bengals. Obviously, that's a way better matchup than the Los Angeles Chargers and the Carolina Panthers. There's only one game that has a lower get-in price than the Carolina Panthers this week. What's the get-in price?
$25.
Oh, you're so close. I'm gonna ring the bell for you. You're too high, but I'm gonna ring the bell anyway. It's $23.
$23.
$23. This is the time, ladies and gentlemen. If you've been looking to take the family down to a football game that's going to be affordable, if you're a Panther fan, you may not want to be in the building for that. But if you're just a football fan or a Charger fan, you got a place to go.
Can I make a guess at who the lowest get-in price is?
Yes.
The Arizona Cardinals are at home this week.
Uh-huh.
Is that the correct answer?
That is the correct answer.
L.A. Rams?
L.A. Rams at the Arizona Cardinals. Get-in price of?
$17.
You almost hit it on the head. $18.
The Cardinals are at a point, and have been for the last handful of years, that if you brought a number 5 combo from Taco Bell, somebody would happily trade you a ticket to their games for said combo, even if it wasn't still hot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Jacksonville, if you wanted to go down to Trevor Bank Stadium this weekend.
That is
you can.
I hope he plays like absolute dog water, just so that looks so stupid.
$35 a head to get in to see the Jags and the Browns. Trevor Bank Stadium.
Yeah, you really don't know a get-in price until an hour before kickoff.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you'll see a get-in price, and it will be markedly lower than what you just
$12.
said. $6. You got a 5 and a 1 in quarters for the meter, because that's all I need. My story is about Shannon Sharpe. He's a Goodman, and he works here at the mothership.
Mm-hmm.
How many Instagram followers do you think Shannon Sharpe has? I was shocked it was this high.
I don't know, like 5 million.
3.2.
Okay.
Well, as you do yesterday, Shannon, he's not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
He was off.
Mm-hmm.
He was at home,
mm-hmm.
apparently with a young lady who may or may not have
I don't like where this is going.
Either been in possession of or very close to his phone. Because at some point, she hit the go live button on Instagram Live, and you immediately hear Shannon Sharpe saying some things that I cannot say on this show.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't actually see anything,
mm-hmm.
but you did hear you're going to blank this blank.
Yeah.
Which I saw the video.
Mm-hmm.
This started popping yesterday afternoon, and I went, that's 100% Shannon Sharpe's voice. So, of course, Shannon does that thing that you're supposed to do. I was hacked.
Yeah.
Okay, bro. She said your name, dude. Like, I mean, you can use the I'm hacked if you do something really stupid that doesn't have your voice in it. This had your voice in it.
Yeah.
So, of course.
Oh, was he trying to say it was like deep faked or something?
He was saying that the account was hacked and you never actually see me. You're just hearing voices and, maybe somebody's doing an impersonation of me. Nah, dog. That was you.
Yeah.
You have a very difficult voice to impersonate. So, yesterday, he did an emergency episode of Nightcap with Chad Ochocinco, which, by the way, I highly recommend. You should go to Twitter. I can't say anything that Chad Ochocinco said, but I laughed until I almost peed my pants listening to him say it. Shannon comes out and says, obviously, I'm embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
Someone that is extremely private and to have one of your most intimate details, the audio, heard for the entire world to hear, I'm embarrassed for a number of reasons. Not the least of which was, and I'm adding this part, you were awful out of breath for somebody in that good a shape, my friend. Got to work on that cardio.
Oh, no.
Get on that treadmill. Work up a little on the, what was that thing called? Not the stair stepper. It'll come to me.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously a thing I don't use.
Right.
So.
Right.
How embarrassed would you be?
I would be completely embarrassed.
I wouldn't.
I
wouldn't be embarrassed at all.
My question is like, why is this a deal? I mean, are there people upset about this?
Oh, yeah. This is ESPN should fire him
for what?
I have because people are stupid
for having a consensual relationship and taking a video of it that got posted online. Like, was he? What's the nefarious act here?
I got news for you. If I accidentally hit that button, you've all seen my wife. I'll show up and start taking bows. Thank you. Thank you.
Of course you would.
I would walk in with a Tony just going, oh, you like me. You really love me.
No, it's creepy.
I'd also make it really awkward of how much of that did you watch? Anybody that brought it up to me. Whole video is like 3 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get to 100 seconds? Because if you did, you don't have the right to be upset.
That's fair.
I just think it's funny. I couldn't believe when he said he was hacked. Why are you not just getting in front of this? Who cares?
Right.
What does it matter?
Right. I mean, like, is Shannon Sharpe married and this wasn't his wife?
No. Shannon's never been married. This is his long time
but that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, what would you be upset about a single man having a tryst with some woman and it got posted online? Like, Where's the crime here?
I have no idea.
What possesses you to call for this man's job?
We live in a world where A.J. Hawk Tua Tagovailoa became famous and made $1 million. Stop being a moralist, okay?
It's true.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Mm-hmm.
But it did sound like Shannon needed to maybe call his doctor for a asthma inhaler.
Look, he's older now, right? And the guy
ain't that old.
And I think every time he's on one of these podcasts, he has a sizable drink in his hand and a cigar in the other.
Oh, no doubt.
Hey, I mean, he lives the Michael Jordan life. Are we going to be shocked if he shows up on a documentary in a couple of years about the 98 Super Bowl run with John Elway where his eyes are all yelling out because of all of the toxins in his older body? Probably not.
Shannon's in great shape.
I'm sure he is. I'm just saying, I'm not going to be shocked. So the fact that he was a little out of breath doesn't make sense.
I'm just saying, Unc, you ain't got to say you were hacked. Live your truth. Live your truth, King. Live your truth.
Unc.
I'm not going to lie. I love Shannon Sharpe, and I have for a long time. He got on my nerves so bad when he got into media, and he has progressed to such a point that I would put him – he's top 5 media personalities now in sports.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely love him.
All right, fair enough. Looking in the just trying to flow through the chat here. There's a narrative going on in the chat that there's going to be this week might be a Taysom Hill game for the New Orleans Saints. The Saints fans are talking about Taysom. The way they used him last week in that game, running him out of the backfield, using him kind of like a, I don't know what you call that.
Fullback.
It was like a fullback.
He was a borderline fullback.
Yeah, he's running that wing T offense kind of thing. Is that is that a repeatable? And is it dangerous for fantasy?
I mean, he had 35 yards.
I get it, but
he had 35 yards rushing.
At some point, they're going to run that in the goal line situations, and
I
don't know,
a guy that's going to maybe fall into the end zone. I mean, he had 6 touches. Taysom Hill is like the hangnail of the NFL. It's not killing you. It's not awful. It doesn't drive you crazy. But I'll be damned if you don't hit it against the corner of a table and just go, oh, no, give that ball to Alvin Kamara. You just stop that. No.
Uh-huh.
You have a good running back. Stop using whatever that is. It's weird. Has way too big of arms for a quarterback, and it's too small to be run. I don't know what that is.
All these other weapons on the offense, and we're going Taysom Hill and Jawan Johnson.
Rashid Sheeshed. It's Ian.
Oh, he's yes. But I'm saying
Cowboys,
outside of Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave, and Rashid Shaheed, why does it always end up being everybody but those guys?
Well, I mean, I'm going to take what you just said. So he's the 4th option in a mediocre offense. Yeah, I believe I'm going to pass. I mean, is that what you're asking me? Is this fantasy relevant?
Saying, right, because they were talking about this would be a Taysom Hill game this week. So does that make him interesting against the Cowboys as a fantasy play?
That's going to be a no from me, Bob.
It's just too bootsy, trying to figure out what weeks he's going to be usable and what weeks he's not.
No, you know what and I'll be honest with you, I hadn't thought of this until I really broke it down.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably going to get Chris Olave on Kalen Carson a lot, and that actually makes me like Olave so much. When I saw that Kalen Carson was the outside starter for the Dallas Cowboys, I went, how did that happen? I mean, I know Deron Bland got hurt, but that's where we settled? Okay. I loved him coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Don't love him right now. He was about the only player on the Cowboys defense that graded poorly last week.
BIG says they should run the ball straight at Micah Parsons.
I mean, I'm not going to do that. Solely because there are too many other places that I kind of want to run at the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
It ain't at Micah.
He said that's how they schemed him out in the playoffs. So it, quote, works every time, he says. If you run the ball right at Micah Parsons.
Well, you got to understand,
dangerous.
this is a markedly different defense than what Dan Quinn did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more looking at I'm on the other side. I'm running at DeMarcus Lawrence. I don't really believe that much in the interior of this line. I actually like Alvin Kamara this week. I know it's going to sound strange after what they just did to Jerome Ford, but I do. I like Kamara.
And now that we've spent all this time talking about the Saints players, how in danger of Dallas, or is Dallas, of losing this week?
Oh, significantly. I mean, would you be shocked if the Saints went in there and won this game? Because I wouldn't at all.
I would not.
I think that line is dumb.
What is it?
6. But what do I tell you every single week? You find those really popular teams, they bait their fan base into betting on them heavily.
Mm-hmm.
That feels like a layup to me. I haven't checked what the money is on it. I can find that pretty quickly.
Right.
But I will wager, I bet New Orleans is catching a large amount of this number.
I have still not made up my mind on how I think this is going. Are they loaded up on the Dallas Cowboys?
90% of the money on 30% of the tickets. Yeah, that feels like that. You've got this. It doesn't to me. Not even a little bit.
That the narrative is that New Orleans is not that good? Because I think to me that's how I read that of everybody's looking at this going, I'm not flipping my lid over them beating Carolina.
I'm not flipping my lid over them beating Carolina. I'm also not flipping my lid over anything Dallas did. And I feel like this is a gross overvalue of the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm. Jerry Jones.
That's not my favorite bet of the week. I do have one of those, and I will happily tell it to you.
Favorite Jerry Jones quote of the week was when he said, when we make guys the highest paid players in football, like we did with Troy Aikman, we win Super Bowls. That's the justification for Dak Prescott's $60 million contract and the massive contract that you're about to give Micah Parsons. You better hope that rule stands.
I figured it out.
What
Notorious B.I.G. got me in the comments. We're not positive that Marshawn Lattimore and Tyrann Mathieu are playing in this game.
All right.
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
Then that does make a lot of sense.
Because then you get into the who is going to deal with CeeDee Lamb,
Mm-hmm.
and that's going to be a problem.
Yep.
I knew Marshawn was questionable, but I thought he was closer to on the probable side of questionable instead of the doubtful. That makes it sound like he's highly questionable.
Yep. Cowboys on a 16-game winning streak at home, taking on the New Orleans Saints, whose defense might be banged up. Once you start to stack those things up, it makes a little bit more sense on why 94% of the money is on the Dallas Cowboys to cover the 6.
Mark Cleveland has a fantasy football question in our YouTube chat.
Okay.
Would you trade Brian Robinson and T. Higgins for Pat Mahomes and Khalil Shakir?
Superflex?
I don't.
Or does it matter?
Care. I don't care if you don't have to play a quarterback. I would still do that. I get the best player in that deal, and it's not even close.
Yeah.
Now, I am curious what the rest of your roster looks like. I mean, if you already have Lamar Jackson, then that kind of gets into a hat on a hat.
Right. But if you had, Jared Goff as your quarterback.
Justin Herbert.
Are you doing that?
Yeah,
are you pulling the trigger on that just to have Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback rather than having Bijan, who could be the number one running back in the league?
It is not a super flex, but I do not know who his quarterback is. Mm-hmm. As long as it's not Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, I really don't care. I would do it. There are a lot of receivers. And I'll be honest with you, I don't mind Khalil Shakir at all.
But there aren't a lot of running backs. That's my problem.
Yeah, and Brian Robinson ain't one of them. I have Brian Robinson on practically every team I have, and I'm starting him exactly 0 places this week.
Mm.
And I wouldn't trust T. Higgins as far as I could throw him. He's got Trevor Lawrence. Do it immediately. And Trevor's your backup. You're set up for the year.
Yep.
You can figure it out. stay tuned right here, and we'll give you all of those little inside tips like Isaiah Likely that I told you 2.5 months ago.
Yeah. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. We'll be back on a Threadbare Thursday after this.
Need batteries? Don't overpay at big box stores. Shop locally owned Rainy Battery for the lowest prices on all your battery needs. From watch to heavy equipment batteries, Rainy Battery has you covered. Boats, RVs, cars, trucks, golf carts, and so much more. Get brands you know and trust like AC Delco, Motorcraft for the lowest prices, plus custom battery cables made in-house. Go to rainybattery.com or stop in today for a quote. That's rainybattery.com.
When you're ready to go back in the day,
y'all gonna make me lose my mind.
Check out the all-new Throwbacks 101.1.
This is how we do it. Allow me to introduce myself.
Asheville's classic hip-hop and R&B.
Come on.
Hi, this is Stu Rohrbaugh, and I'm running for Buncombe County Soil and Water Conservation District Supervisor in the November 5th general election. Make sure you register your vote today. Your vote counts.
This has been a public service announcement from iHeartMedia Asheville.
I pay with PayPal at the shoe store, the Wind Chime store, the .com store, all the stores, because I want to pay with you everywhere. Don't just pay, PayPal.
This card is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. pursuant to license by MasterCard International, Inc.
Haywood EMC, your local Touchstone Energy Cooperative, is powering a brighter future for our community by offering college scholarships, education grants, athletic camps, and much more. Serving the rural residents of Western North Carolina with affordable, reliable, safe services and open communications for over 80 years. Learn all of the ways Haywood EMC is working in the community at haywoodemc.com/community.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
This is Julie Mayfield, and I am running for North Carolina Senate District 49 in the November 5th general election. Have your voice be heard. Make sure you register to vote today. Your vote counts.
A public service announcement from iHeartMedia Asheville.
This week in the Buncombe County Game of the Week, due to the forecast, we're going to have Thursday night football. West Henderson is at Irwin. This will be a great non-conference matchup between two hot teams. The Bojangles Countdown to Kickoff show starts at 6:30 with the kickoff at 7. On Friday night on ESPN 1400 and TuscolaRadio.com, Chris Kelly and the gang will bring you Tuscola at Swain. The Mountaineer pregame show starts at 7 with a kickoff at 7:30. The best high school football coverage is on News Radio 570, WWNC, and ESPN Asheville.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Clouds in this afternoon, a southeast breeze, and probably climbing just above 70 degrees. And then as we watch what's left of Francine continue to weaken and go well west of us, some of the eastern edges of the precipitation start to spread some showers in here tonight. 60. Scattered showers, maybe an afternoon thunderstorm tomorrow near 70 degrees with a gusty breeze. Friday night and Saturday, scattered showers and thunderstorms. At this point, doesn't look like widespread heavy rain or severe weather. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
Don't miss iHeart Asheville's Show Love Fest, presented by HCA Healthcare and Mission Health. A day of gratitude for good health and healthcare workers. Saturday, September 14th at Center Park in Asheville from 12 to 4. Bring your lawn chairs. Details at showlovefest.com.
Did you know you can now use your body's own healing properties to revitalize your achy joints and get real lasting pain relief? I'm talking about advanced regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. If you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulder, this is something you need to check out. Everybody's talking about regenerative medicine, and the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics are experts in these amazing treatments. People here rave about the results. You can enhance your joints, improve mobility, and get back to doing the stuff you love without pain and without drugs or surgery or downtime. Under the leadership of Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting breakthrough using cellular therapies. They've got tens of thousands of satisfied patients, and the consultation is totally free. So call now. Take action to get lasting joint pain relief with help from QC Kinetics. Call 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls studio.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. We are seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat, and we do that thing every Thursday at 1 o'clock. It's time for Tar Heel time with the voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels, Jones Angel, talking about another Tar Heel win in football. Win over Charlotte this past week. Got NC Central coming up this Saturday. Jones, welcome into the program, sir. We're 2-0.
Yeah, great to be with you. Thanks for having me as always. And, most importantly, got the win for Carolina, 2-0 after that victory over Charlotte. And I thought there was some good, some bad in there, but all in all, a game where the Tar Heels, were able to get Connor Harrell, a full game under his belt as the starter, and he had, I thought his performance improved and he became more comfortable as that game went on. They were able to overcome a little bit of adversity again with injuries. The Heels have had some injuries here early in the year. Fortunately, none of them were as serious as what happened to Max Johnson in the first week, but found out a couple minutes before the game that neither Kamen Rucker nor Darwin Barlow. So Barlow, the backup running back, Rucker probably Carolina's best defender, certainly their most productive defender, were not going to be available. And then during the action, you lose your starting center, Austin Blasky. You lose Omarion Hampton. You lose Bryce and Nesbitt. I think Hampton and Nesbitt, arguably Carolina's best two players. And so you're able to navigate all of that and still really comfortably win the ball game. Charlotte did score a touchdown late there that made it 38-20, but a game that Carolina had control of for a large majority of the contest. And so it's still a team, Tank, that I think is growing, that is figuring itself out, and that is still learning a little bit about itself. And so that process will continue this weekend as they host North Carolina Central in Kenan Stadium.
Well, the question has to be first, I guess, on Omarion Hampton. What is the news on the leg injury that kept him out of the second half?
Oh, he's fully available this week. I think he was available in the second half last week. Had that game been more competitive, or had it been, the ACC championship game or something, I think Omarion Hampton would have returned to the ball game for Carolina, but there was just no sense for the Tar Heels for being aggressive. And I would expect, Tank, and this is totally my opinion, I would expect Carolina would be relatively conservative with Omarion this week. You want him to get back out there, you want him to get some carries, but you hope that you're to the point that in this game, that you don't necessarily need him to carry the ball 25 or 30 times to be able to win this contest. And as the Tar Heels showed last week with Davion Goss coming in, even with Barlow also being out, as I said, they feel like they've got a lot of options at that running back position that can be effective. And so certainly you want to be careful if you're Carolina with Hampton, but I don't even think this is something that requires a whole lot of kid gloves. I think that he's doing just fine, and that he will certainly be available this weekend for Carolina.
All right, any of the other injuries going to linger on into this week or past this week?
Yeah, it's a good question. The only one that the kind of official term was a couple of weeks for Kamen Rucker on the defensive side. So that lower body injury likely one to keep him out at least a handful of games. Carolina has some younger players there, Tyler Thompson and Jabron Harvey, who saw elevated snaps this past week. And actually both those guys were very solid in their performance. They didn't have a lot of game-changing type of plays that you would expect from a veteran player like Kamen Rucker, but they were guys who came in and did their job and played well. And so Rucker is the one that I think may be a couple of weeks, and again, that is just based off what Carolina said when it announced the injury this past weekend. The rest of those injuries, fortunately do not appear to be, certainly nothing for a season, and nothing more than at the most, maybe another game or so. But I think Carolina feels like it's going to be pretty close to full strength. Again, keeping, of course, Max Johnson and Kamen Rucker in mind. Think that the Heels feel like they'll be pretty close to full strength this weekend.
All right, what is Mac and the rest of the coaching staff saying about Connor Harrell and his first real snaps as the starter?
Yeah, I think, Tank, two things. One is they, like I said earlier, really feel like he settled into the game. I think his heartbeat was moving a little fast there at the beginning, and the Tar Heels ended up going 3 and out and minus 14 yards in the first drive, so not the numbers that you're looking for. But they feel like he settled into the game action as that game went along. And really, you look at his numbers. 3 total touchdowns, threw for 2, ran for 1, and protected the football. He did have an interception, but that was on a play where he was hit, as he was throwing from behind, and the ball kind of fluttered off mark and was intercepted. And that's going to happen in football. Was every read perfect? Was every throw to the right guy? Was everything? No. But that's not necessarily expected. And that kind of gets to my second point of, I think, the biggest benefit outside of, hey, he settled in, played solid football, helped lead your team to a comfortable win. The other benefit is now you have some data points, right? You have some information to work off of. And practice is great, and practice is important, but there's just something different about having that real-world information that you can now base it off of. And so you can show Connor Harrell in the film study and say, hey, what made you make this read? What would you see right here that did this? In the future, we want you to make sure you're thinking about looking here first when you see this particular coverage. Or it can be, hey, boy, you did this just right. This is exactly what we've been talking about, and you went just to the right guy at the right time. What a perfect execution and read that you made. So you have now those real-world data points with this group that you can start building off of. Because I do think it's different, Tank, than that bowl game from a year ago where, you've just kind of got the scraps of your team left over at the end of the year when you've gotten guys who have opted out and injuries and all those different things. Now you're working with what you're going to be working with, right? The personnel that you have for the season and barring injuries and things like that, you know what you have. And so you now have real-world information that you can grow from if you're Connor Harrell, and real-world information that if you're the Tar Heel coaching staff, you have some stuff that very tangible things that you can show him to help teach and guide him along the way. So benefit number one is you won the game and he's healthy and played a solid game. Benefit number two is that you feel like you have some very tangible information that you can help grow from.
Yeah, NC Central is the opponent this Saturday. It's a team that just got mollywopped by Elon last week. I look at this and I go, this is the perfect. I dare say, I hate to say that anybody getting hurt is a perfect scenario, but for Connor Harrell, I feel like this was a perfect scenario of, if I'm going to have to be the guy for the rest of the season, I'd rather it happen now rather than trying to get into the swing of things and cut my teeth against the tougher ACC schedule down the road.
Sure, yeah, and first and foremost, Central's a good program. They've won 19 games over the last 2 years. They won an HBCU national title 2 years ago. They were in the FCS playoffs last year. So this is a team that is used to winning at its level, and that is a quality team from the competition that it is playing week in and week out. Tank, having said that, clearly Carolina has some inherent advantages in this game. The Tar Heels have more resources, they have more scholarships, just all the stuff that we understand.
Yes.
And so I think from the Carolina perspective, it is two things. One is you absolutely do have that luxury, isn't quite the right word, but you have that opportunity to grow through some mistakes in these games and still have a really good chance to win the games. And so that is a great situation, as you referenced, for a Connor Harrell. Or you lose Austin Blasky last week. That's your starting center. That's not one that's going to get a ton of attention, but that always is tough. When your center goes out, it just throws things off. And so for Carolina to be able to work through that, and Zach Greenberg, who's a D3 transfer, who, by the way, has come in and has really adjusted nicely to this level of football. He's still growing and getting used to it, but has really done a nice job and a big leap. And then all of a sudden he's thrown in there, and it's like, all right, dude, go make it happen. And so you can maybe not play a perfect game or even close to it, but you're still able to have a lot of success because of the way the schedule worked out for you. And so I do think that is an accurate statement for the Tar Heels. But then the other part of that, Tank, is something I think we talked about last week that has really been Mac Brown's mantra, and that is that playing to that standard, and that really good teams don't go up and down depending on the opponent, and mature teams play to a level that they know they need to play to have a good chance to win and to improve. And for me, that's the storyline for Carolina is, are you mature enough to do that, to go out there and control a game that you should control, and then that gives you the opportunity to play a bunch of guys like you did last week. Like they played 25 guys on defense. That's a bunch of guys. And so I think they played more than 70 players in total when you count special teams in there. And so are you able to maturely handle your business so that you can get some long-term benefits out of this game outside of just hopefully winning the contest? And so because, Tank, if it's 17-10 with 3 minutes left in the first half, it's a different situation, right? Your Hampton is still in there getting a bunch of carries, and there is some game pressure of what's happening. And so if you're Carolina, you want to go out there and show that you're mature enough to control a game you should control.
Yeah, again, a chance for the Tar Heels to kind of cut their teeth, get the foothold underneath them, congeal a little bit, if you will, for NC Central this weekend, and then at home again next weekend against James Madison. Of course, we'll talk to you next week on Thursday about that matchup. My biggest remaining question for you, though, Jones, is not football related. By the way, kickoff of the NC Central game coming up at 6 o'clock on Saturday. 5 o'clock.
It's an odd game time. It's 6 o'clock. Yeah. We're on the air at 5 on Saturday.
5 o'clock pregame here on ESPN Asheville. I have to know what's happening with the Dean Smith Center discussions. I've seen this all over social media. Everybody's sharing out the links, going, "Oh my God, what are we going to do?" What is the deal? They've been looking for a while to replace the Dean Dome or renovate the Dean Dome. Can you catch us up on where this is at right now?
Yeah, I think, Tank, we're still in the discussion phase of this. So, I don't think anything is necessarily imminent as far as, they're breaking ground next year or something.
Right.
This is still very much in the discussion phase of what is the best path moving forward. And I think what happens is, somebody either gets a hold of or makes up their own, renderings of what this might look like. And then all of a sudden that gets shared out and everybody just accepts it as fact, and that's the wrong thing to do.
Oh, is that what's happened here?
Well, I think more than what is Carolina's still just weighing its options is the answer. I think there's a lot of options on the table. And some of this was public record that was announced of discussions that are being held, and there are options being discussed of, do you keep the Smith Center and renovate it? Do you tear the Smith Center down and build a new one in the same spot? Do you have other spaces on campus that you use to build a new facility? Do you step off of campus and build a facility? What are the pluses of each? What are the minuses of each? What do you like about where it currently is? What do you like about – I do think, though, that the one thing that is accurate is that the Tar Heels don't feel like they can just keep the Smith Center exactly how it is and play another 30 years in this building. They feel like they need to figure out the best way to move forward, and that is to monetize the opportunities that they have, and to modernize the experience of watching a Carolina basketball game when you come to Chapel Hill. And so there's a lot of things that come into play there. Of course, the ingress and the egress, the tailgating, although not as big for basketball, but still the kind of pregame festivities before the game, your experience in the game, the availability of premium seats, the space and how it is used as far as concourse and restroom and concessions, and all the things that go into a modern game day experience. And so, again, I think the overall big picture is that, yes, Carolina is certainly discussing, exploring, and trying to figure out their best path forward, because they understand that they have an entity that is important and that they want to continue to improve in Carolina basketball and the fan experience there. But to suggest that some answer has been decided upon, no, that is not accurate.
Right. No, it's just a bunch of talking right now, and apparently some of the designs are being done by the same people that did the Sphere out in Vegas, and that's a pretty cool thought that you're going to be, you're getting the firms that do the high tech stuff, right? The cutting edge thing. So the stadium, every new stadium seems to amaze me these days.
Well, I mean, I don't think you want to do this and not do it right, right? No matter what you do. I mean, this is a big decision. It's going to be an expensive decision, and it's going to be a decision that you hope then is one that is going to be a fabric of what you're doing for decades to come. Mm-hmm. And so it's a big choice. And so again, I think the most important thing to remember is that there's a lot of options on the table, right down to absolutely staying in the Smith Center, but modernizing and renovating the current building. And so, I mean, there's just a lot of different options that are still being weighed, and there's a lot of different parties that are going to be involved. And I think the last piece of this, Tank, that I'll mention is, I think another part of this that's being thought about is this a building that you want to be used more than just for basketball games? Is it something that the town of Chapel Hill can be involved in to have different events in the particular, whatever ends up happening? And so there's just a lot of different pieces involved, from board of trustees to the town to, of course, the basketball team, to the athletic department as a total. And so there's just a lot of different constituents in this conversation, and that normally means that it is going to be a lengthy process. So nothing imminent, but I do think something eventually is going to happen, because it needs to happen for Carolina to continue to move forward.
Well, I'm glad we have the inside track. We got the man that knows all. I won't say that. I won't put that on you. You don't know all, but you're pretty good. Pretty good.
Well, I can just act like I do if I don't think. That's the key, right?
That's fine. It works for Jeremy. That's all you need to do. Just act like you know everything, and everything will work out fine. Jones Angel, thanks again for joining us here on the show. It's always a pleasure. We'll catch up with you next Thursday.
Sounds good, Tank. Always enjoy it. Talk to you soon.
Saturday, we have the kickoff of the next Tar Heel football game. 5 o'clock airtime here on ESPN Asheville. 6 o'clock is the kick. North Carolina against NC Central. We'll be right back in the Sportsocracy.
This week in the Buncombe County Game of the Week, due to the forecast, we're going to have Thursday night football. West Henderson is at Irwin. This will be a great non-conference matchup between two hot teams. The Bojangles Countdown to Kickoff show starts at 6:30 with the kickoff at 7. On Friday night on ESPN 1400 and TuscolaRadio.com, Chris Kelly and the gang will bring you Tuscola at Swain. The Mountaineer pregame show starts at 7 with a kickoff at 7:30. The best high school football coverage is on News Radio 570, WWNC, and ESPN Asheville.
Did you know you can now use your body's own healing properties to revitalize your achy joints and get real lasting pain relief? I'm talking about advanced regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. If you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulder, this is something you need to check out. Everybody's talking about regenerative medicine, and the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics are experts in these amazing treatments. People here rave about the results. You can enhance your joints, improve mobility, and get back to doing the stuff you love without pain and without drugs or surgery or downtime. Under the leadership of Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting breakthrough using cellular therapies. They've got tens of thousands of satisfied patients, and the consultation is totally free. So call now. Take action to get lasting joint pain relief with help from QC Kinetics. Call 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Saturday, September 28th, the Barn at Paint Fork presents the Artemis Pile Band. Advanced ticket and VIP party deck experience tickets available at barnpf.com. Come experience the legendary Artemis Pile Band. The Barn at Paint Fork, located just 18 miles north of Charlotte Street exit in Asheville. For tickets and directions, check out barnpf.com.
This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. Freedom in fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dales available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dale's salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your denim. Though we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Cott?
Right you are, my friend. It is the Sportsocracy on a Threadbare Thursday here inside the Ingles studio. Ingles Living the Dream Tour rolls on this weekend. Saturday morning, we will be up before the cock crows so we can go see the Gamecocks.
God, you and I do think way too similar because I was going to say the exact same thing.
So we can be there for all of the festivities for South Carolina LSU. This is just good old-fashioned SEC football. Two of the grittiest fan bases in college football meeting in Columbia. It's going to be a great time. I'm so excited. Can't wait. And we thank Ingles Supermarkets, Dale's Pale Ale, Parks Ford of Hendersonville, and Clarissa Sales WNC.com.
We also thank the lovely boosters of South Carolina for hooking us up with sweet seats.
I can't wait. It's going to be the best seats I've ever had for any football game.
Are you kidding me?
No! If they're where you told me that they were.
Section 1, row 4. I'm looking at them as we speak.
Yeah. Best seats I've ever had for a football game that wasn't a high school game.
What is, actively, before you sit in these seats, what is the best seat you've ever had?
I have never sat at a professional or college football game in the lower bowl. Ever. Because I'm a cheapman. Because I look at a football game and I go, you know what, I want to go to the football game, but I also don't want to go by myself, and that's the only way that I could spend $80 on a ticket.
You know what you do, right? I mean, really all you ever have to do is go, hey, how about you, young blood? How about you just?
Well, I mean, I've been in suites, right? I've been in the lap of luxury, but it's always been up high, right? The suites are cool, but they're up high. Like I've never been down.
Always up high.
Right? I've never been down in the stuff.
I am curious to see how you feel about that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I've said this on this show before. Mullet Sr. wants to sit as close to the bench as humanly possible.
Mm-hmm.
If they would let him sit Indian style on the grass
he would do
behind the coaches, he would do it.
Right.
I cannot see that way. I just have an old scouting disposition. I want to
be up high, yeah.
But
mm-hmm.
when you tell me I can be just like, okay, if I reach my arm out, I can touch the stanchion.
If you reach out your arm, a security guard's going to go, don't do that.
Hey.
You're too close.
Fake Luke Combs.
No, I'm
cool.
I'm really excited about it. Like I said, it's going to be the closest I've ever sat for a game that's not at Irwin High School, Asheville High School, or the McCormick Field.
Okay.
Or maybe the Charleston River Dogs.
I, without giving anything away, will tell you these are not the best seats we have on the Living the Dream Tour.
Ooh, I like that idea.
We have 50-yard line front rows at a game.
Fronts?
Frontsies. Ain't nobody in front of you.
Let's go.
If you're asking somebody to sit down, it's going to be a backup lineman. And we'll tell you where that game is as time goes on. So you got to let these things out.
See.
Got to let it just trickle out.
This is why I ride with Jeremy, because he's got all the hookups, he's got all the nice things. And I'm glad you're dragging me along on this adventure.
That's a good point. I'm glad you said that, because we have not told the people. So next week,
yes,
our schedule is going to be a little different
mm-hmm.
because I'm not going to be here
mm-hmm.
at the end of the week. So bangers will still happen. They will be prefab bangers. So if the lines are off, I apologize. There's nothing I can do about that. Lines change. We have not – I know Chris Womack will be here 2 of those days. I believe it's Wednesday and Thursday. Friday, there's a great chance I will be here, but I will be on the phone.
Okay. On the phone?
On the phone or Zoom or
somehow.
I will digitally be here because my fat keister will not be in this seat.
I was going to say remotely.
We're very the season's still very juvenile,
mm-hmm.
infantile,
mm-hmm.
if you will. I've worked like 30 some odd days in a row. I need a break.
Yep.
And some just wonderful people have invited me to a little retreat for a few days. We're going to talk a little business. We're going to play a little golf. We're going to smoke a few cigars, have a Dale's Pale Ale or 2, and it's just going to be a good old time.
Yep. And I'll hold down the fort till you get back from your frivolities.
Well, I mean,
it's slaving away.
Well,
I'm just throwing shade. It's all fine. It's all jokes. These are all jokes.
I genuinely think we could start calling me Jeremy. How did you get here, Green?
Yeah, I think that
I
think that quite often with you sometimes. But again, glad to be on the ride. Let's get back into the Threadbare Thursday questions earlier in the program, in the chat here. Tim Raymond had the question about the Buffalo Bills since they're playing on the New York Giants.
Former member
of the Buffalo Bills. That's why my brain went that way. He had a question about Brian Daboll. How soon does he get fired with the New York Giants?
Well, I'm always remiss to answer these questions because I don't know exactly how the owners think.
Mm-hmm.
It's always, I look down the staff and go, who could it possibly be? So if the Giants fired Daboll, who would be next in line? And I feel like it would be Mike Kafka.
Sounds right.
Which, that maths. I think he will be a head coach in this league one day.
Has been a head coach in waiting for like 3 years.
So once you have somebody that makes sense, now it gets into the schedule. Well, I'm looking at the Giants' schedule right now. If they don't beat the Commanders this weekend, and I'll go ahead and tell you, I don't think they're going to.
No.
You then go at the Browns, Cowboys, at the Seahawks, Bengals, Eagles, at the Steelers, before you get a combo of Commanders, Panthers. I don't believe it would be easy to let Daboll go after that Steeler game. But, I mean, if you're sitting at 0-8, that's my target spot.
Okay.
Because then you go Commanders, Panthers, you get the new coach, fired coach bump with Kafka. He can come in and beat the Commanders and the Panthers. Then you get a bye week and see if you can salvage something of the season.
Yeah.
Brian Daboll was put in a zero-sum game. There's no win here. I mean, week one, you literally have fans waiting at the entrances to scream at Daniel Jones.
Of course you do.
And it didn't help anything that Saquon Barkley, playing for a division rival, looked like the best running back in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Because for better or worse, it feels like you chose Daniel Jones over Saquon Barkley.
You did.
And it's not quite that simple. They wanted Saquon back. They just don't value running backs.
Right.
Your current administration does not feel about running backs the same way that the previous one did that took him that high.
But when we were talking about what decision are they going to make here, they were both up at the same time, and they had to make the decision. Are we getting Saquon long term, or are we getting Daniel Jones long term? And they chose wrong. They chose to go the Daniel Jones path. Got to give him that $40 million contract to make sure he's sewed up for the future. Then they signed Saquon to a 1-year deal. I feel like you chose wrong here.
Well, to me, it's not that you had to make a choice. It's you signed them both. It's not like you've got a roster so deep in talent. Oh, God, how are we going to pay all these guys?
Mm-hmm.
It's, well, we need to pay Saquon. I guess we have to have a quarterback, and then we need 51 other players that we probably could have found at the Home Depot, and they would have been about as good as what we've got. Here's where my problem falls with the Giants. The Giants didn't draft Evan Neal. Brian Daboll didn't draft Evan Neal at 7. He didn't draft Joshua Azudu, which I remember that pick coming down and going, are you smoking crack? I wouldn't, if this draft was 40 rounds long, I would have never gotten to a spot where I took him. They did it with Kadarius Toney. They did it with Azeez Ojulari. They did it with, you did have one good year with Andrew Thomas and Xavier McKinney, but you've missed on so many draft picks that it's borderline comical. I'm not sure our friends at the Eddie Fox show next door with Kiss Country, they have their daughter picking NFL games. I'm pretty sure I could have handed Ellie, who's 2, a draft board and gone, pick 7 players. She would have been better than anybody in the administration of the New York Giants. That's not Brian Daboll's fault. And I feel like coaches around the league look at the Giants and just go, that's a broken spot. The roster is awful. Awful. I mean, you think the Panthers are bad? I can at least point to a handful of players that I go, they belong in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
The Giants, I get to about 4, and then I turn into a 7-year-old and go, okay, I'm through talking now. I don't have anybody else because this roster is awful.
Right.
I don't see how he survives the year. At the very worst, he's gone at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really feel that way about any other coaches. I think this is a light year in turnover.
There aren't very many. I mean, because a lot of coaches are still on their first and second years because we've had a lot of turnover in the last few.
The only ones that I can make sense in my head are Sean McDermott with the Buffalo Bills if the wheels just fall off.
Yep.
Doug Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say Sean Payton, but I can't.
Right.
Obviously, Brian Daboll.
Antonio Pierce.
You're a year in.
But if it goes
there
terrible,
would be a mutiny in that locker room.
You think so?
There's no shot.
Okay.
You can't fire a guy a year in. And I know.
I was going to say it would be the second, third one in a row that they've done that with.
And that's the point. You can't hire the fan favorite, the locker room guy, and then give him 17 games. It doesn't work that way.
Mm-hmm.
You got to remember this is still a business. I was talking with somebody last night about the business of the NFL and how it does, because it's our entertainment, it doesn't feel like a business, but it is a business. And you do have to remember that you got 200-300 employees here, and you have to factor in how they are going to feel coming to work every day.
Right.
So I can't say Antonio Pierce.
Okay.
I can say Dennis Allen.
Mm-hmm.
I can say Robert Saleh. And I'm done. Mike McCarthy wouldn't be a firing. He doesn't have a deal for next year.
Right. Yeah, you could just not re-sign him.
Just non-renew him, which would be unheard of. We haven't done that with a coach. I couldn't tell you the last coach we did that with. But I don't think it's going to be a huge turnover year. That would work in the Giants' favor. Of we let Daboll go, you've got a slew of coordinators that are qualified and ready to make the jump, and they don't have many places to land.
Right.
But you're going to need that because you're not very attractive at this point.
Where's Ben Johnson going? That's the big question. It's now the third coaching cycle that he will be the number one candidate, and see if there's a spot that he can land after the Detroit Lions do whatever they're going to do.
New Orleans Saints has always been the one that made sense to me because the roster is good enough to win right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you could play the way he seems to like to play.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Clouds in this afternoon, a southeast breeze, and probably climbing just above 70 degrees. And then as we watch what's left of Francine continue to weaken and go well west of us, some of the eastern edges of the precipitation start to spread some showers in here tonight. 60. Scattered showers, maybe an afternoon thunderstorm tomorrow near 70 degrees with a gusty breeze. Friday night and Saturday, scattered showers and thunderstorms. At this point, doesn't look like widespread heavy rain or severe weather. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The new Lux Cravings Box from Taco Bell with cheesy, crunchy favorites, chips and nacho cheese sauce, and a drink for just $7. Try it today at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time. While supplies last, price and participation vary. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
Saturday, September 21st, it's the French Broad 10-mile relay presented by the Webb family. All the fun gets started at 10 a.m. on the out and back course along the greenway of the French Broad River. You can compete in teams of 5. Prizes given out for the top male, female, co-ed, and masters teams. And all the proceeds benefit Riverlink. Come on out and celebrate the women who saved the French Broad River. For more information and to get signed up, go to justrunning.com, jusrunning.com. Proudly sponsored by iHeartMedia, Asheville.
Going to big box retailers for batteries? Flag on the play. Locally owned Rainy Battery has the lowest prices on all your battery needs. Don't fumble when you can find everything from watch batteries to batteries for cars, RVs, trucks, golf carts, and more at Rainy Battery. Get brands you know and trust like AC Delco, Motorcraft for the lowest prices, plus custom battery cables made in-house. Go to rainybattery.com or stop in today for a quote. That's rainybattery.com.
Hi, this is Paul Benjamin, and I'm running for County Commissioner in District 1 in Buncombe County. This November 5th in the general election. Make sure you're registered to vote today. Your vote counts.
This has been a public service announcement from iHeartMedia Asheville.
It's time to kick off the perfect tailgate and take your team to Ingles. Chips and guac made fresh in store every day. The best meat in town, packaged fresh every day. And smiling faces giving you their best every day. Let's be real. In the South, Football season is our favorite season of the year. There's a lot to smile about, especially with deals like these. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. This is JW with Parks Fort Hendersonville, and I'm so excited to introduce our first Parks Promise community hero, the American Red Cross of Western North Carolina. The need for blood is so important, and in the summer months, the need is even greater. Did you know that you can donate every 56 days? Save lives this summer. Head to redcross.org to schedule an appointment or find a blood drive near you. Congratulations to the American Red Cross, our Parks Promise community hero.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville. We're back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We had some big things happen in the news. So there's a Powerball winner or a Mega Millions winner. It wasn't you, and it wasn't me.
I was about to say I didn't play, so it'd be hard for it to be me.
Do you ever play the lottery? Is there ever a point where that jackpot gets so big that you go, you know what? Couple of quick picks, got to do it. You're a gambler, so I'm just curious if you're into the whole lottery thing.
I detest the lottery.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it.
For what purpose?
I don't like games of sheer chance.
Yeah.
I want there to be some form of skill.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't really play blackjack much. My wife loves blackjack. I never play it, ever.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the lottery. And if for nothing else, because I get stuck in line trying to fuel up the Parks Ford Mobile Studio, and I get Billy Ray going, when was the last time somebody hit on them number 22s right there? How many's left in the roll? Could you pull it out and put it back in and let me know what box? Could you do that? Shut up and go! Sorry, that's a nerve. It's a nerve of mine. It drives me crazy.
I've always dreamt about, I think everybody has dreamt at some point about winning the lottery. But it always comes down to, I'm never going to win this. Like, it's $1.6 billion or whatever it was last year. Like, maybe I should go buy a ticket. Why am I just going to throw that $2 away? Although this one was one on quick picks. Like, you talk about luck.
I had a guy in front of me at a hot spot the other day that was talking about his acumen as a lottery player.
Okay.
And he turned to me like I was going to be impressed. Like, I'm pretty good at this. Do it for a living. And I went, you could have told me that you step out in front of city buses trying to sue the government, and I would have been equally impressed. His response was not happy.
Yeah. How do you do that? How do you make a living doing that?
Well, you don't. Because you're telling me about your wins and you're omitting your losses.
Mm-hmm.
I spent $180,000 last year. I made $50,000 though.
I'm pretty good at this.
Math is you got a lot of suhs and does in math, didn't you?
Yeah. Somebody cashed in Texas $800 million jackpot Of course, after everything taking a lump sum, it's going to be like half that, $400 and something million.
Shoot.
But like everybody, I've dreamed about it. But here's the thing: if I did win, I would be broke in no time because I would probably try to buy a seat on the SpaceX rocket.
No shot.
This was the first spacewalk, privately funded spacewalk happened today.
Good. I don't need to go to space.
870 miles above the Earth, higher than any crew had spacewalked since the Apollo 17 mission, 1972. I would totally waste money on that.
Oh, I wouldn't. If I won the lottery, I would drive to Raleigh to give up my driver's license. I would hire a driver that would drive me everywhere I go.
Mm-hmm.
I would buy a penthouse in 4 cities that I can think of.
Mm-hmm.
Manhattan, Nashville, Austin, Texas, and L.A. And an elephant. I would totally buy an elephant.
For why?
To ride it. Yeah, that's the only thing I would ever drive would be my elephant, and his name would be Flipper.
Flipper.
Yeah.
Just because I can.
Yeah, you ever seen how they scratch their stomachs? That's why he's called Flipper.
Oh.
My story's about Joe Buck.
Wow.
He did that thing, and this is going to sound a little mean, but I'm headed for a golf trip next week. I love my wife more than anything on this planet, but I do not take her golfing with me more than once or twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like the coolest woman on the planet. She just hangs out. She drives the golf cart. She tells people how far I hit a golf ball. She'll maybe lie for me a time or two, which is awesome. It's why the partnership works. Joe Buck's wife, on the other hand, apparently does yoga poses. Allow me to elaborate. A story came out from Adam Schefter yesterday that the Mrs. Buck, Michelle Beisner Buck, was headed into surgery for an ankle injury that she sustained on a golf course thanks to her husband. She didn't really give a lot more information than that. He hit her in the ankle with a golf ball, but he didn't give any elaboration. So Joe Buck went on the defensive and felt the urge to clarify. Michelle has been known to do headstands during the course of our courtship and marriage. That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard a 50-year-old man say about his wife, but we'll move on. She did a headstand at the end of the tee box for good luck, out and to my left. And at the exact moment that I was teeing off, she decided with her feet in the air to do the splits right in my line of fire. Okay, I'm not a crime scene recreationist here, but either she stood directly in the way or that golf shot was awful.
Yes.
I think I was let it go.
I was aiming for the green.
I was aiming for the green.
It.
She was at 7 degrees due left of me, which if you've ever seen an angle, you know that's hard left. I don't think I would have told that.
Well,
I think I'd have just said, you know what, errant tee shot. She was up there. She was bird dogging for me. She was checking to see if there was anybody up on the green. She wasn't paying attention. Oopsie poopsie.
The fact that you murdered her leg with a...
I don't think I would have told people she was doing a downward-facing dipstick on the tee box. I don't think I would have said that because that's not...
Do you get a...
Why are you doing handstands on a tee? You know what? This is why I go golfing by myself. I don't need... Listen, honey, your yoga poses, I love you. Could you stop?
She's just trying to show him a little support.
For good luck.
Yeah.
I've heard of doing a lot of things for luck.
Well, look, maybe she did it on, the fifth hole, and he drove it really well. So then when they got up to 6, she's like, well, I got to do it again because, sports people and their superstitions.
Oh, look, you're talking to a man who's got 13s tattooed all over his body. I'm super superstitious. I just don't know how a headstand affects your tee shot. Ben Whitley, possibly with comment of the day. He said, you mean you don't like the education lottery where most of the money doesn't go to education? That might be comment of the day.
Oh.
We give this to education. You mean you give 7% of this to education? Say what you mean. Mean what you say.
Mean what you say. Adam Black, resident pastor of the Sportsocracy and also resident Carolina Panthers fan, has a burning question here for Threadbare Thursday. How long is Bryce Young's leash, and does Dave Canales have to make a call to save his job?
Save his job? No. He's got look, you can't churn through coaches the way that David Tepper is, because you take what I said about the Giants, that's a stalwart franchise.
Mm-hmm.
That's a legacy franchise. You ain't a legacy franchise, and you don't have a legacy owner. I feel like the answer to this question is twofold. And first, I will answer it the way it was asked, and then I will answer it the way I think it should have been asked. How long is his leash? Probably long enough to go around this building.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've never been here, it's a big damn building. How long should it be? I am officially in, and I said this Monday, I am officially in the terrified, you're going to break this kid. Because I saw a kid going into week 1 with 3 weeks of prep that had absolutely no grasp on the offense. He has no clock in his head. He has no confidence in himself, and nobody around him has any confidence in him. That is the unholy quatrinity. It's Trinity's 3. I need 4 because that's 4 things.
Isn't that a quadrain?
Sure, that word sounds as stupid as what I said, so we'll go with that. It's whatever that is, and that's what broke David Carr. David Carr got to a point where nobody on his team really trusted him. You start getting lackadaisical route running. You start getting guys that it's hard to get your brains beat out every week. It just is. Just think about if you went to work every single day, you didn't really trust the leadership, you were afraid that you were going to lose every single day, the money's going down, and you don't really know that you even have a job a year from now. That's going to wear on you over time.
Mm-hmm.
And I already saw it in Carolina in week 1. A lot of people have asked why we're going to the Panthers home opener, because I think they're one of the most interesting teams in the league in week 2.
Mm-hmm.
I am so curious to see how you come out in your home opener after a display like that. It will tell me practically everything I need to know about Dave Canales. Because a bad coach, this team comes out flat and gets steamrolled. You get me 35-6. And that stadium is empty by halfway through the third quarter.
Yep.
I have a weird feeling that's not how this is going to go. I'm not telling you I think they're going to win. I didn't go that far. I got a question earlier about fantasy football. I don't mind Chuba Hubbard this week. I think there is a merit to Chuba Hubbard. Okay. I think there is a merit to Deontay Johnson. Because I do believe in Dave Canales. And I think he's going to throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. And some weeks that's going to be good. Some weeks it's going to be bad.
Mm-hmm.
The positive of that is that week to week, you really don't know what you're coming up against. Could he bench Bryce Young? Yes. Will he? I highly doubt it. And it's because I don't know how it would affect him. Now, I would do it because I'm afraid that I'm going to break your brain and then you're just a sunk cost.
But then does that break his brain?
I don't.
Right? Do you run into the same problem that the Miami Dolphins had with Tua Tagovailoa? Remember the first year with Ryan Fitzpatrick and they kept bringing him up and sitting him down and bringing him up and sitting him down? A lot of the, I'll call it the excuse, right, for his lack of development in year 2 was, well,
inconsistency.
Right. You didn't give him the opportunity. You didn't leave him in there to work through his warts. You were taking him in and out of the lineup, and it stunted his growth. So you could be in that same situation here with Bryce Young.
You could. I'm afraid you've already crossed that bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Now you've got to get into conservation mode.
Yep.
Carolina's tied to Bryce Young for 2 more years, period.
Yep.
It is borderline impossible to get out of a top 5 pick within 3 years. Now, once you decline the 5th-year option and you move on that way, then it becomes a little easier, but you're still starting over.
Mm-hmm.
Andy Dalton promotes winning right now better than Bryce Young does. He has no long-term future whatsoever. It would be different for me even if you had Jameis Winston or Tyler Huntley or somebody that is young enough to potentially be an answer. You don't. You have a stopgap. But you do have to think about the other young players on this roster as well.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Mingo, he's not developing the way you want to, and I think a lot of it has to do with Bryce Young. Jatavian Sanders, a guy that you used a pretty high pick on. You got Jonathan Brooks coming back in a few weeks. You got a lot of guys here who are depending on competent quarterback play, and right now you're not getting it.
Yeah. Biggest question for me, Carolina Panthers and the Los Angeles Chargers, is how many touchdowns will be scored and who will score those touchdowns? Because that's a way that you can make some money on the DraftKings Sportsbook app, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. You can do something as simple as just betting on a guy to score a touchdown. And if you're right, you could make some money. Plus 150 on J.K. Dobbins, anytime touchdown scorer against the Carolina Panthers. If you're into the Chuba Hubbard thing, that's plus 190. Could be some money made this weekend depending on who gets into the end zone. If you're ready to make that first bet, score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code WPEK. That's code WPEK for new customers to get $250 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 and get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Bonus bets, for additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball. NFL Plus Premium offer available only to new and former NFL Plus subscribers. Additional NFL Plus Premium terms at nfl.com/terms. The Sportsocracy rolls on with Threadbare Thursday after this.
It's bow time. Some classics never go out of style, like fresh egg, American cheese, and hickory smoked bacon on a made-from-scratch biscuit. But why stop there? Pair it with crispy bow rounds and a hot coffee or medium drink for just $5.99. Your morning deserves a breakfast that has it all, from the fluffy egg and crispy bacon to the melted cheese and, of course, a legendary Bojangles biscuit. Make it the ultimate breakfast combo for $5.99. Order in the app or at Bojangles. It's bow time.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
Just a little heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer.
Oh, no.
So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning, the cap is loose on that ketchup.
Ugh. Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
iHeartMedia Asheville can't wait to bring you Show Love Fest, presented by HCA Healthcare, Saturday, September 14th at Carrier Park. Asheville, this is your opportunity to gather with your community's healthcare workers and show them the love. Live music, food, and beer trucks, and great prizes. Healthcare workers, be sure to bring something to show you work in healthcare for grand prize eligibility. Free and open to the public. Bring your lawn chairs and feel the love. iHeart Asheville's Show Love Fest, presented by HCA Healthcare and Mission Health. Details at showlovefest.com.
Does your home need a new look? Step into a world of flooring possibilities at the Carpet Barn. Plush carpet, sleek hardwood, stylish tile. The Carpet Barn has it all. Whether you want comfort, durability, or that wow factor, you'll find it in their 300,000 square feet of flooring options. Find the perfect floor for your lifestyle and budget. Head to carpetbarncarolina.com for your free in-home estimate now. Veteran owned and operated. The Carpet Barn, the one-stop shop for flooring.
It's time to kick off the perfect tailgate and take your team to Ingles. Chips and guac made fresh in store every day. The best meat in town, packaged fresh every day, and smiling faces giving you their best every day. Let's be real, in the South, football season is our favorite season of the year. There's a lot to smile about, especially with deals like these. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. Freedom in fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dale's available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dale's salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your denim. Though, we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Clouds in this afternoon, a southeast breeze, and probably climbing just above 70 degrees. And then as we watch what's left of Francine continue to weaken and go well west of us, some of the eastern edges of the precipitation start to spread some showers in here tonight. 60. Scattered showers, maybe an afternoon thunderstorm tomorrow near 70 degrees with a gusty breeze. Friday night and Saturday, scattered showers and thunderstorms. At this point, doesn't look like widespread heavy rain or severe weather. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The new Lux Cravings Box from Taco Bell with cheesy, crunchy favorites, chips and nacho cheese sauce, and a drink for just $7. Try it today at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time. While supplies last, price and participation vary. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
Did you know you can now use your body's own healing properties to revitalize your achy joints and get real lasting pain relief? I'm talking about advanced regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. If you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulder, this is something you need to check out. Everybody's talking about regenerative medicine, and the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics are experts in these amazing treatments. People here rave about the results. You can enhance your joints, improve mobility, and get back to doing the stuff you love without pain and without drugs or surgery or downtime. Under the leadership of Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting breakthrough using cellular therapies. They've got tens of thousands of satisfied patients, and the consultation is totally free. So call now. Take action to get lasting joint pain relief with help from QC Kinetics. Call 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingles studio.
We're back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We are live at the Ingles studio. You can hear us everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. See us live on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com. Click that live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Follow all of our YouTube adventures throughout the Living the Dream tour throughout this football season. This weekend, we'll be heading down to Columbia, South Carolina, where the Gamecocks will be hosting the number 16 LSU Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Game day is going to be in town, so that's going to be cool to see that set up, and everybody's just going to be a fever pitch with all the signs and stuff. Really cool. I've always seen it on television, never got to see it live. So that's going to be a cool added bonus to this weekend's Living the Dream tour stop.
You've never seen a game day either?
You've been to a game day?
Yeah. A couple of them, actually.
Interesting. No, it's always one of those things of, they're going to be in Columbia or Atlanta, or do we want to drive and go up there? Well, I'm not going to the game, so why would I want to go see the pregame show?
So I will say I am curious to see if I know South Carolina pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never seen a game day there. I am curious to see if it holds up.
What holds up?
I've seen game day in some party towns. I don't know how Columbia holds up in terms of as a party town for game day.
I'm going to say they're probably going to hold their own. I mean, that's a fan base that parties when they suck. So,
well, you're competing with West Virginia, Florida State, and Tennessee because that's the three places I've been previously. Which, those are three pretty consistent facets of the top 25 party school list. So I'm curious.
Yeah, South Carolina, they're on that list too, aren't they? They used to be. I know long ago, South Carolina was on that list of the top party schools in the country.
We'll start the daily draft, and I'll look down and see if South Carolina's on that list.
Dale's Pale Ale, the daily draft. Today it's who is this weekend most important for? Who's got a matchup this weekend that I guess they just can't drop? Who's going to make the biggest statement of the weekend across college and pro? I got first pick here, so I'm going with tonight.
Really?
I'm going with tonight. And I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills. Because after you said that how that schedule lays out, you got to find some wins in here. And should I mean, maybe boil it down even further? Not just the Buffalo Bills, but I mean, this is the beginning of the end for Sean McDermott. If this goes out of control, and it starts with the Dolphins here, that guy's already on a hot seat, in my opinion.
You can take a coach if you want to. If you would prefer it to be Sean McDermott instead of...
I mean, yeah, sure, we can do that.
All right.
Sean McDermott. This is a very important game for him.
Sean McDermott is your number one. That's intriguing to me.
Okay. Who's your number one?
Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. They are my number one, and it ain't close. Because if you think Tuesday was ugly, you go into Nashville and lose to the Tennessee Titans, and Mayo drinking Will Levis, and how the public perception is with the Tennessee Titans. I'm not saying it's reality. I think that defense is really good. Defensively, you should be able to keep them in check. Tennessee should walk out of this game with roughly 250, 260 total yards, and the Jets should win this game comfortably.
Yeah.
But if you don't, it is going to be same old Jets. It's going to be we bought it again. It's going to be Aaron Rodgers didn't do squat. And there he's going to be on Pat McAfee another Tuesday trying to defend his team. I would take the Jets over the Bills in a heartbeat. I will say the Bills were my two.
I never would have even considered that because I don't think that there's much of a chance of that happening, of you dropping this game to the Tennessee Titans.
I and Vegas think it's much more realistic.
What is the line on that game?
Jets -4.
Yeah, that's
Jets -4. It has gone up.
Yeah.
I can't.
I'll be all over the Jets to cover on that one.
The value is on Tennessee because basically every analytic I have says that should be right out of field goal. And a ridiculous amount of the money's on the Jets. Moneyline, Jets are carrying 90% of the money right now.
But you think it's more important for Aaron Rodgers than Saleh?
I said Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets.
Okay.
I took them as one great big.
Gotcha.
I just had to make sure that Aaron's name was said there. Yeah, I could have. How many different facets of the Jets could I go down here? Aaron Rodgers, Robert Saleh, Woody Johnson, Joe Douglas, Garrett Wilson, Bryce Hall, Nathaniel Hackett, Jeff Ulbrich. Yeah, I'd probably stop at those. I could stop at those 8.
That's a bunch.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
They all need a win here in just the most desperate of ways. And now I think that's another way that you and I are looking at this differently. The tiebreaker there for the Jets and the Bills was how bad the loss is. The Dolphins on the road is not a terrible loss. It may lead to bad things.
Yes.
But we're not going to come in here tomorrow and go, oh, my God, I can't believe they lost to the Miami Dolphins. And go, hey, Miami finally got one against a team that's pretty good, and Josh Allen finally lost to the Dolphins for the first time in what feels like half a decade.
Right.
If the Jets lose to the Titans, buddy, there will be no credit to the Titans whatsoever.
No.
None.
No.
No pundit in this country will give credit to the Tennessee Titans, even though they probably deserve it.
Mm-hmm. JGJ. Jets gonna jet.
I don't like when you do that. Don't do that. It makes me want to punch you in the face like real hard. And my hand's bleeding because I gored it on the other side of the table.
Yeah,
so
don't do that.
Be like a twin bill now.
All right, your second selection for most important win this week.
I am trying to talk myself out of saying anybody else. It's the Atlanta Falcons. Look, I know it's a tough opponent. I don't think they're as good as everybody else does. I know you're on the road. And I won't even say, with Atlanta, it's not even necessarily you have to win. You have to look light years better than you did a week ago. Because you played a team that is not good. That is not a good football team. And you looked incompetent offensively. Kirk Cousins looked 200 years old. So with the Falcons, and this is on Monday Night Football in a standalone. You got lucky that big old gross fest happened in the 9-game slate on Sunday at 1 o'clock. You ain't got anywhere to hide now. You're in a standalone game with Joe Buck and Troy Aikman and Scott Van Pelt doing the postgame and Adam Schefter and those guys doing the pregame. We got a 5-hour bash the Falcons fest here if you come out and grumper this up and get slaughtered. And there will be a ton of questions. Why did you spend the money on Cousins?
Yep.
When is it time to go to Michael Penix?
Yep.
How do all the weapons in this offense feel? There's going to be microphones in Bijan's face and Drake London's face and Kyle Pitt's face, and the defense, for the love of all that's good and holy, they will go individually to every defensive guy going, hey, how you feel about your offense right now that's doing nothing? There are a couple other teams I wanted to say, but I can't put them past the Falcons. I just can't do it.
Okay. That could get out of control with a loss there. Or with a miserable loss. Nobody's going to be terribly upset if you lose by a field goal to the Philadelphia Eagles.
You're worried way too much about the
time.
score. I'm talking about how you look. If you come out, Kirk Cousins has 3 turnovers again, another fumble that was recovered by a lineman, and you get beat by a field goal, yeah, trust me, we're going to be talking about it.
Right.
Because it'll be, how in the world did you lose this game?
Mm-hmm.
Your defense did everything to put you in the position. I almost feel like it being close would be worse. Because now you're dividing the locker room of the defense is doing what they're supposed to do. This is 2 games that the defense did enough to win, and the offense could not cram its thumb in its keister with both hands.
Mm-hmm. My selection.
And yes, I do like that turn of phrase. That's the first time I've ever been able to figure out how to say it on the show. But I did it.
Mine's Brian Kelly. I think this is a very important week for Brian Kelly. Ooh. If he goes to South Carolina and loses to the South Carolina Gamecocks and picks up the second straight loss against USC this season after losing to the Trojans in week 1, it's going to get mighty loud about Brian Kelly.
What's going to get loud? They're not going to fire him.
No, they're not going to fire him. I'm not saying they're going to fire him. I'm going to say that is how you get dummies burned in effigy in Baton Rouge. Because it's going to start of Brian Kelly can't win the big one, and this ain't even a big one.
Oh, this is bigger than you think.
But this ain't a Alabama. This ain't a Ole Miss. This ain't a Texas. You're supposed to be in the class with those schools. You're not supposed to be in the mediocrity stages of the SEC. losing games to South Carolina. Starting 1-2 can get very dangerous, I feel like, for Brian Kelly.
I didn't even have LSU on my list.
Really?
He's won 10 games 2 years in a row. And was left a dumpster fire.
But what have you done for me lately? You know how fan bases get.
Yeah, that's I don't. Maybe I have more belief in the fan base of LSU than that. I don't think you're fully grasping how bad that got in the last year at Orgeron. The sheer fact he's gone 20 or let's see, I forgot to add this year. He's gone 21-8 in 3 years at LSU. Tells me he's even better of a coach than I thought he was. He has no quarterback. Garrett Nussmeier is not as good as you're being sold he is. And I promise you, when we walk out of Columbia, South Carolina on Saturday, I will bet you that's the first thing you say to me going out of the stadium. If they think that's the follow-up to Jaden Daniels, I got a bridge to sell you.
Right.
And I put so much of this on the defense. I'm not disagreeing with you. I know how fan bases work, and LSU does expect to be better. That one never even crossed my mind.
Really? And then I think I'm going Dallas Cowboys. You got a big one at home with a team that just put up 47 points that they put up on the Carolina Panthers? You get into a shootout-y game with them and lose? Mike McCarthy needs every win. Every win he can get, he needs. And that's another one. He's fighting for justification, right? I'm trying to justify my next contract. Dak Prescott, I'm trying to justify the huge contract you just gave me last week. CeeDee Lamb, same thing. Micah Parsons, same thing. Jerry Jones, same thing. After Jerry Jones came out this week, and I said it earlier in the show and said, well, we won Super Bowls the last time we had highest paid players on our team. He keeps setting that bar. And losing to the New Orleans Saints to me feels like it would be just another. You don't want Stephen A. Smith coming in on the shows on Monday morning wearing the cowboy hat laughing in your face. Because, look, you handed out another big contract. Look, you couldn't even beat the New Orleans Saints.
And the Cowboys were on my list, but they were lower. I guess my argument there would be, what is the real credit you get with a win? Like if they beat the Saints, let's say it's 27-17.
No,
Do they walk out of that and go, yeah, we're 2-0?
No, this is a game you have to win. This is a game you can't lose, in my mind.
And I guess that's where I'm going. Of it's more you can't afford a loss than you need a win.
Mm-hmm.
Because next week you play the Baltimore Ravens, and you can pretty well manhandle the Saints. And if you go into Baltimore next week and get annihilated, you're back to step one. Because you played the only team we know definitively is good, and they punched you in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Because Jerry Jones sets that bar.
Yeah.
It's just a different way that we're looking at this, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny you said that. We got to take a commercial break. But my next pick, they're close to the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And the story is very similar.
Who is this week most important to? The Daily Draft, brought to you by Dale's Pale Ale, will continue after this on ESPN Asheville.
Did you know you can now use your body's own healing properties to revitalize your achy joints and get real lasting pain relief? I'm talking about advanced regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. If you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulder, this is something you need to check out. Everybody's talking about regenerative medicine, and the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics are experts in these amazing treatments. People here rave about the results. You can enhance your joints, improve mobility, and get back back to doing the stuff you love without pain and without drugs or surgery or downtime. Under the leadership of Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting breakthrough using cellular therapies. They've got tens of thousands of satisfied patients, and the consultation is totally free. So call now. Take action to get lasting joint pain relief with help from QC Kinetics. Call 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Total Wireless is made to totally keep up with you. We now have unlimited data that never slows you down, covered by the Verizon 5G network, and all for less than $30 a month when you get 4 lines. And the best part? We give you a free Samsung Galaxy A54 5G when you switch to the Total 5G Plus Unlimited plan. Visit your local Total Wireless store today. Total Wireless, we're totally with you. Actual speeds may vary by location. For data management practices, see TotalWireless.com.
If you snore or you have been diagnosed with sleep apnea, then you're not breathing adequately at night, and we all need a good night's sleep. A custom oral sleep appliance is perfect for people who can't use a CPAP for their obstructive sleep apnea. And if you have that prescription for an oral appliance from your physician, you can take it to Asheville Smiles Cosmetic and Family Dentistry, and they will do the rest. If you've not yet been diagnosed with sleep apnea, and maybe you think you have it, then Dr. Merrill is happy to help you out with a free sleep apnea screening. Find out more online at AshevilleSmiles.com. World-class dental care with a hometown feel.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. This is JW with Parks Fort Hendersonville, and I'm so excited to introduce our first Parks Promise community hero, the American Red Cross of Western North Carolina. The need for blood is so important, and in the summer months, the need is even greater. Did you know that you can donate every 56 days? Save lives this summer. Head to redcross.org to schedule an appointment or find a blood drive near you. Congratulations to the American Red Cross, our Parks Promise community hero.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. Freedom in fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dale's available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dale's salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your dinner. Though we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
Back on ESPN Asheville, the Dale's Pale Ale Daily Draft. Who's this weekend most important for?
Tank and myself, because we will be drinking a lot of Dale's Pale Ale.
It'll be very fun.
Over the course of the weekend between Columbia and Charlotte on the 2024 Ingles Living the Dream Tour.
Yes, indeed, we will. So far in the draft, I've taken Sean McDermott, Brian Kelly, and the Dallas Cowboys. Jeremy's got Aaron Rodgers and the Jets and the Atlanta Falcons. Who's next on your most important matchup this weekend?
The Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
I get it. You're probably going to be without Jordan Love, even though you're just refusing to rule him out, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But you realize you're in the soft spot of the schedule, right? You lost to the Eagles. If you lose to the Colts, too, and you start 0-2, you got to go to Nashville next week.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got to play a Vikings team that doesn't look – I'm not saying they're great. They don't look fun to play.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got Rams, Texans, Lions, Jaguars, Bears, 49ers, Dolphins, Lions. You start 0-, even if you go 1-3, you are LMNO screwed because the meaty clackers of this schedule is too tough. And you've already got a quarterback that's a little dinged up. You can't lose this game. And if you do, nobody will talk about it because nobody will care. Well, they lost with Malik Willis. I got it. Standings don't really care why you lost. They only care that you lost. And if you're telling me through 2 weeks you've caught 2 losses and you look around the NFC and go, man, there's better teams here than I thought there were. The Rams are better than we thought they were. The 49ers are at least better than I thought they were. The Bucs look pretty formidable. The Saints looked formidable. The Vikings looked better than god-awful, which is what I thought they were. You got a lot of actual legitimate contenders. And now you've got a dinged-up quarterback and 2 losses. That's not good.
No.
Now, as for the one that I said was like the Cowboys and was close to the Cowboys, it's because they're playing the Cowboys. It's Dennis Allen. Last week did nothing for his perception, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
We might be looking at that Saints team as more formidable. It's not because of Dennis Allen. He needs a win against an actual contender. Because if you look up and down the schedule, it's going to take a lot to unwind what we already know and think about Dennis Allen. Have you looked at what comes after this?
They got the Eagles next.
They go the Eagles,
mm-hmm.
at the Falcons, at the Chiefs, and the Bucs.
Mm-hmm.
If you're riding high into a game with Philadelphia that's in your building, I would give you a shot there. If you get smacked in the face by the Dallas Cowboys, I'm looking at that schedule now going, that has 1-5 written all over it, and Dennis Allen is LMNO fired. And there's not much you can do to stop it.
Right.
Because I don't see a way you're going into Kansas City and beat the Chiefs. I don't love your chances going into Atlanta and beating the Falcons, but you could do it. But if you're carrying 3 losses out of that, 4 losses out of that, and you start 2-4, 1-5, somewhere in that neighborhood, there's no coming back from that.
Yeah.
We couldn't believe he kept his job in the first place. You need any opportunity you have to make us forget the past, you better take it.
Mm-hmm. He's going to have to pull out some big wins this year to sway anybody. Just winning the games that you're supposed to win is not good enough for this team anymore.
What does he have to do to keep his job?
I think he has to win the division.
I think he has to make the playoffs and win a game.
And win a game in the playoffs?
I don't really care if you win the division or wild card or what. I don't care how you get to the dance. I don't care. You better get there.
If they went 10-7 and won a close division race with one of these other teams, Atlanta or Tampa, that doesn't save him.
Not if you get annihilated in the first round of the playoffs. Not if you're the 4 seed in the NFC and you catch the Los Angeles Rams and they come in your house and beat you 37-6.
Mm-hmm.
Fired.
Yeah. Okay. You got to pull an upset in the playoffs as well to be able to keep that job.
And that's
makes sense. I mean, we've been crying for 3 years now that he needs to be fired.
Well, I mean, and that's on the assumption that the ownership has, found the dirty pictures that he had of them. Because that's the only way he's still got a job. They're doing something awful. Actually, you know what? Maybe that's what Donald Trump was talking about. He said Ohio. Maybe he meant Louisiana. Who knows?
Oh, could be.
They're eating people's pets. That would be bad enough to keep Dennis Allen employed.
Yeah, don't eat people's pets. That's not a good idea.
Alf is online too. He'd like to talk.
Next up, most important this weekend. I'm going to go back to the college ranks here. And this is not a if you lose this game, you're going to lose your job kind of a thing. Or that even if you lose the game, it's going to be devastating. But I think a win this weekend for Boston College could be huge.
I didn't think I had to do that.
Really?
I really didn't think I had to do that. I was saving that for my last 2 picks.
Boston College is already better than I ever expected that they would be. Yeah, I get that. I mean, I didn't know much about this program. Like, I know that they gave Florida State fits last year. and there were some things to like. Bill O'Brien coming in as the coach.
I would understand how you didn't necessarily see them beating Florida State.
Yes.
You know, they played Duquesne last week.
Well, I mean, that doesn't do anything for me because, I mean, even if they'd beat them just 34-0, it was 56-0, by the way. But I mean, I don't really care about that. There's nothing I can gauge off of your season by you beating Duquesne the way you did. But you already took down Florida State, which we know that's kind of muted now because Florida State's already lost again. But you go against the number 6 team in the country on the road in Columbia, Missouri, and you win that game, then all of a sudden we're talking about maybe Boston College is
the second best team in the ACC.
Yeah, the second best team in the ACC behind Miami.
Have you seen Thomas Castellanos' stat line through 2 weeks?
Give it to me.
He's played 2 games. He's 19 of 26 for 340 yards and 6 touchdowns. He's completed 19 passes. 6 of them have wound up in the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
That is ridiculous. They don't throw much, and I'm shocked by that. What I'm more shocked by, he's not running. He's only run 15 times in 2 games. Bill O'Brien's just actually built a team that can run the ball.
Mm-hmm. And I don't really want to do this, but I feel like I have to do this.
There's one
after last week.
Shocked that you haven't taken yet.
College game?
Yeah.
Oh, is it the Notre Dame Fighting Irish?
Nope.
Really?
I mean, Marcus Freeman needs a win. Don't get me wrong. Because if you lose to Purdue, shoo, buddy.
Bingo.
You'll come back to Notre Dame and touchdown Jesus will be crying.
You may not get back on the bus if that happens.
I think he's in grave danger.
He is. He is. Because you're 2 weeks into the season and Notre Dame is barely in the top 20.
If we did this every single week, I think I could put Marcus Freeman on. That's why I didn't have Notre Dame on the list. You just assume you better not lose in perpetuity until you play USC.
Yes.
Because if you do, none of the rest of it matters. We might let you finish out this season, but that's going to be the end of this.
But I mean, this is not just come in and win the game. This is come in and look like you know what the hell you're doing. Come out here and look like a Notre Dame football team that's supposed to go up against an inferior opponent. Granted, it's still a conference game. I'm not expecting you to go 56-0 against this team. But you better win decisively, and you better look like you got a plan for the rest of the season. Because if they come out and they have another grumper against Purdue, and this ends up being they win on a final field goal 17-14, it doesn't stop. You don't get any relief from the wheel of outrage.
Ron George in our YouTube comments asked, I'm surprised the Lions haven't been mentioned. If Detroit loses to Tampa Bay, do you think their Super Bowl aspirations start to fade?
No.
Because I don't.
No, I don't.
That's the reason I haven't said it, is because I'm looking at Detroit going, I think you show up and put your pants on the right direction. You go 12-5, you get in the playoffs, and then somebody's got to beat you, and that's not going to be easy.
Every team loses games.
I don't think Tampa Bay's Tampa Bay's one of those weird teams of I don't think you're a good win, but I also don't think you're a bad loss.
Is it going to sway anybody? I mean, Buccaneers fans, we're all going to be jazzed. It is going to get crazy.
Oh, God.
If Baker Mayfield goes into Detroit in the dome and takes down the Detroit Lions, who are supposed to compete for and maybe win a Super Bowl, it is going to get crazy insufferable.
Lord, I'm but a humble servant. I can't take these Baker Mayfield wackadoodles. I can't do it. I can't do it.
I doubt that that's going to happen. My heart hopes that happens.
I'm waiting for you to become one of them.
No,
I'm waiting for you to become one of the thing you hate.
I have gotten to the point of I can't completely go down the path of the blind Baker Mayfield hatred anymore. When you have a game that is winnable, Baker Mayfield's going to show up, he's going to win you that game, and I really like him for that. I cannot see him beating the best and brightest teams in the NFL because, well, he's never done it. if he does it once, you're going to sway me more to that side of, man, I mean, he is. All the things that they say about him are true. He is a gamer. He is.
There it is. That's step one of Luke. I don't know where that came from.
Either.
I looked at myself and went, Luke. It's of where Tank becomes a wackadoodle.
No, he's got that grit at the end of close games. It's
Mark
just
the tape.
It's not going to.
3 weeks from now when
when
he's singing Whitney Houston songs and Celine Dion songs to Baker Mayfield, just mark the tape. This is where it started.
Yeah.
My last two, one of them is a pipe dream, but we haven't talked about it, and I think it needs to be talked about. My first one's Oregon.
Okay.
This is a rivalry game with a team that's basically now playing in a fictitious conference that they've put back together with all the states.
Mm-hmm.
The Pac-12 now has 6 teams, and they all end in state. And your next two should be North Dakota and South Dakota.
Yes.
But that's just my opinion. You don't just need to win. You better come out here and embarrass Oregon State, because if you don't, it's going to get loud on you in a hurry, because you have struggled 2 weeks in a row, one of which was with a good team, I think, in Boise State, who can really run.
Yeah, they can.
But if you struggle with Oregon State, don't be shocked when we start to really question, hey, what's going to happen when you start playing Big Ten teams?
Ashante? Is that running back's name?
Ashton Gianti.
Ashton Gianti.
I did not love him coming into the season. I watched a little of that Oregon tape and went, maybe I'm wrong.
It's hard not to like him now. He's got like 7 touchdowns in the first 2 weeks.
Well, you have to be careful with college and the NFL are different. I'm not coming off I'm not in love with him as an NFL running back yet. I am in love with him as a college running back. The other one is Luke Fickell. Wisconsin has struggled with 2 just god-awful Western Michigan, South Dakota in your house, and you beat both of them by 14 points. And struggled way more than that score insinuates. Now you got Alabama coming in here. And now I'm going to modify my game just a skosh. You don't need a win, per se. You need to look like you halfway belong on this field. Because my fear is that you have a really perturbed Alabama team coming in here that can score and can put up big plays, and you can't. The Luke Fickell experiment has been a disaster so far.
Mm-hmm.
They went 7-6 last year. We didn't talk about them the same way we did with Iowa. They couldn't score either. And now it's worse because you don't have Braylon Allen anymore. I'm just going to call my shot on this. I think Alabama goes into Camp Randall and beats them bloody. I'm talking 56-3.
Wow.
They are going to hurt your feelings. And that's where all of the past ills are going to come back to roost. Because they play USC the week after. They've still got a game with Penn State. They've still got a game with Oregon. They've still got a game with Nebraska. They've still got a game with Iowa. They've still got a game with Minnesota. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not sure every team I just said is not better than you, and most of them, it's significantly.
Mm-hmm. All right, final selection for me. Who's it most important for this weekend? I'm going to go Cleveland Browns. Down in Jacksonville against the Jaguars. Trevor Bank Stadium. Every time you do this, every time you suit up, you go out on the field, and that offense looks that terrible, you get closer and closer to having to make the call. Deshaun Watson, this has been the worst nightmare that you could possibly think of. And now that he's back in the news again for all the wrong reasons, it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse.
Cleveland to me
Browns
feels like
going
they
Cleveland Brown.
Cleveland feels to me like they had the worst week 1.
Mm-hmm.
But are you really going to change your opinion much if they lose to Jacksonville?
I think I will.
I won't.
I think I'll be. I'll be out.
You're a dog,
mm-hmm.
and I think you should be. You've already, but I'll go ahead and tell you, Jacksonville is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers of the AFC. It's not a bad loss.
Mm-hmm.
in that I'm not going to judge you. I'm also not going to – if you go in there and beat them, it doesn't change what I saw last week. It doesn't change the fact you don't have a quarterback.
That's why I think it's an important week for Deshaun and for Kevin Stefanski.
I don't care if he throws for 500 yards on the Jacksonville Jaguars. It will not change my opinion of him, not even one drop.
Really?
Nope. With no Tyson Campbell, a secondary that's not all that good in the first place, and you go down there and look competent, okay. Awesome, you did it once.
Mm-hmm.
And next week you get the Giants, and then you get the Raiders, and then you get the Commanders, and then fun time is over for 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll still look at that and bet the Philadelphia Eagles for anything you want.
But it's the same
when they play them in Week 6.
It's the same thing that we've talked about earlier, though. It's about stacking wins. Like, you get the wins while you can. You got to build some momentum going into the tough part of the schedule. You keep rolling up losses, and it's not going to be pretty. And you've got people like P.O.'d Browns fan who's going to have to change his name again. And I don't think they'll allow too many more characters on the YouTube names.
I thought there's been some pretty long ones.
There have been. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Most important message of the day is next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Clouds in this afternoon, a southeast breeze, and probably climbing just above 70 degrees. And then as we watch what's left of Francine continue to weaken and go well west of us, some of the eastern edges of the precipitation start to spread some showers in here tonight. 60. Scattered showers, maybe an afternoon thunderstorm tomorrow near 70 degrees with a gusty breeze. Friday night and Saturday, scattered showers and thunderstorms. At this point, doesn't look like widespread heavy rain or severe weather. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Foundation Solutions.
Serving Western North Carolina for more than 30 years, Foundation Solutions has the expertise to fix any foundation problem you have. Foundation Solutions ensures a durable foundation that stands the test of time. Call 828-768-2208 for your no-cost consultation today.
Hi, this is Caleb Rudow, and I'm running for the 11th Congressional District in the November 5th general election. Have your voice be heard, and make sure you register to vote today. Your vote counts.
A public service announcement from iHeartMedia Asheville.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams 4-day super sale and get 40% off paints and stains from September 13th through the 16th. With prices starting at $29.39, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your bedroom, living room, or home office, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
What's it take to be a mentor with big brothers, big sisters? It takes 30 minutes and a cup of coffee. A video game, best 2 out of 3. It takes sharing thumbs up emojis, clapping emojis, and loaded nachos at halftime. That's how you make an impact on a young kid's life. So go on, share a few hours a month, because mentorship may sound huge, but the truth is, it takes little to be big. To learn more, volunteer, or donate, go to BeBigNow.org.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
It's time to kick off the perfect tailgate and take your team to Ingles. Chips and guac made fresh in store every day. The best meat in town, packaged fresh every day. And smiling faces giving you their best every day. Let's be real, in the South, football season is our favorite season of the year. There's a lot to smile about, especially with deals like these. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
We are back at the Sportsocracy, and it's time for the most important message of the day.
Don't do crimes.
And since I talked about him at the end of the last segment, I feel like we need to give you the update on the crimes scenario involving the Cleveland Browns' current quarterback, Deshaun Watson. Latest story on this and the investigation that is going on into the new civil suit that has been filed against him, the new sexual assault claim from 2020. The lawyer in the case, Tony Busby, he now says they have a video, which, as we know, with all things, just the words are bad enough. When you put a video to something, depending on what's in that video, this could be the end. This could be the video that ends it all. We just don't know. We don't know what's in it. The NFL is going to get to see it. The NFL will sit down with the accuser in this case. They'll also be sitting down, apparently, with Deshaun Watson to get his story. How he handles this is going to be really, really important. You lied to the league in this investigation. He's this last straw.
I have a weird feeling this is the last straw anyway.
It may be. It very well may be. And, of course, we'll keep you updated on it whenever it comes around.
I do enjoy telling crime stories that feel like Mad Libs, where you don't know the next line I'm going to say as I go through the story. And this one here takes the cake. It's about one Furman Topecchio, 41 of Apopka, Florida.
Apopka?
Apopka.
Yeah.
Is it Apopka?
Apopka.
I thought it was Apopka.
No. I believe it's Apopka.
I thought it was a silent P, like when I try to do at 3 o'clock in the morning after a night of drinking.
Hometown of Warren Sapp.
Aha. Well, last Tuesday, he did crimes. He was Badman.
Warren Sapp?
Well.
We don't know.
Freudian slip. Old Mr. Furman, he got off work about 5 o'clock. He did what many of us do when we get off at 5 o'clock, which is...
drink.
He cracked a beer.
Mm-hmm.
And then he cracked another beer.
Mm-hmm.
And then he did it 23 more times. And then he made the boo-boo of all boo-boos. He got in his car, and he went down U.S. Highway 27, and he went to turn left. And that's all he remembers. Because he fell asleep in the turning lane. Cops find him. They tap on the window. He does not respond. They wake him up. He's wearing one sock. There were 4 open bottles of Corona sitting on the passenger seat, well within his reach. They brought in a Spanish-speaking officer to discern what he was saying. Apparently, he was slurring his words quite a bit. And they asked him, how many beers did you have? He said, well, I started at 5 o'clock, and I had about 25 beers. The impressive part of this, first of all, 25 beers is a lot for anybody. Mr. Talepo? I don't know quite. He only weighs 160 pounds, and he's tank side at 5'4".
I hate you.
That is insane. A person of that stature should not be able to consume 25 beers. And walked to the police car.
I was going to say, what was the time frame on this?
5 hours. This was at 10 o'clock at night.
5 beers an hour.
Tank, I've seen you do 5 beers a night and say goodbye to my floor.
No doubt.
I saw you do 5 beers an hour in Indianapolis, and I thought you were going to die.
This guy must be Irish.
No.
Like second generation Irish. I don't know.
He also has a sweet mullet in his mugshot.
Awesome.
It's...
Who's shocked?
It's from trashy to classy, for sure. One thing I don't understand, drinking and driving. We all have
he
Uber.
spent all of his money on the 25 beers.
That's like $20 at your local Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
Well, he's in Florida. They don't have those down there.
Oh, yeah.
It's a bit of a problem.
You need to go.
He has to go to Publix, and that's not the way to go.
Cy in our YouTube chat has a fantasy football comment.
Okay. Should I drop one of Palmer, D-Hop, or Rome for Waddle in a PPR format? His target share was insane in week 1. How are there 4 people in this league? How are you picking up Jalen Waddle?
Wan'Dale Robinson.
Oh, okay. My bad. I read Waddle and went, that doesn't make any kind of sense.
You need a bigger screen, Papa.
I do. You stole my screen.
Who bought the screen? I let you use it. You cheapest.
Just
go
saying,
to Best Buy and spend $50.
You left for the summer, left me the nice screen, and then you came back and you took my screen away. So now I don't have the big screen to read, and now I got to look way over there.
Because now I have a setup at the house too, and I needed my screen back.
Damn.
Gave you 5 months to buy one, and you complain about me stealing your screen. Holy good Lord.
Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
Go vote for Kamala and shut up. I would not drop Rome for sure. I don't think I would drop Josh Palmer. DeAndre Hopkins is the interesting one. Their schedule is absolutely awful. And I don't trust Will Levis enough. I like Will long term. I don't think he's going to do it for you this year, especially when you factor in the knee.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I probably would drop DeAndre Hopkins for Wan'Dale Robinson.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. Full preview of Thursday Night Football, Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills coming up next, along with Jeremy's 5 on it play of the night. Stick with us.
This week in the Buncombe County Game of the Week, due to the forecast, we're going to have Thursday night football. West Henderson is at Irwin. This will be a great non-conference matchup between two hot teams. The Bojangles Countdown to Kickoff show starts at 6:30 with the kickoff at 7. On Friday night on ESPN 1400 and TuscolaRadio.com, Chris Kelly and the gang will bring you Tuscola at Swain. The Mountaineer pregame show starts at 7 with a kickoff at 7:30. The best high school football coverage is on News Radio 570, WWNC, and ESPN Asheville.
Hey everybody, this is Josh and Chuck from the Stuff You Should Know podcast. And if you've ever wanted to know about Champagne, Satanism, the Stonewall Uprising...
Oh, how about chaos theory, El Nino, LSD, little true crime sprinkled in, or maybe something historical like Rosa Parks?
Yeah, if you want any of that, or anything else you can think of, then look no further. We have you covered.
That's right. Listen to the Stuff You Should Know podcast on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Stuff You Should Know and start listening.
People are talking about Summit Dental in Asheville with Dr. Chad Reinhardt. Just check out some of their Google reviews. One user writes, I'd been avoiding visiting the dentist for years due to poor experiences in the past. I had quite a few visits and procedures at Summit in the last year, and each and every one was made comfortable by the staff that work there. They're all kind and compassionate and take extra time to make sure your comfort level is right where it should be. Summit Dental in Asheville. Call them today, 828-277-6868 or online at AshevilleSummitDental.com.
WNC healthcare workers, don't miss iHeart Asheville's Show Love Fest, presented by HCA Healthcare, Saturday, September 14th at Carrier Park. Join fellow healthcare workers for a day of live music, great food and drinks, and incredible prizes. If your job involves keeping people in Western North Carolina healthy, your community wants to celebrate you. For grand prize eligibility, be sure to bring proof of employment in the healthcare field. iHeart Asheville's Show Love Fest, presented by HCA Healthcare and Mission Health. Details at showlovefest.com.
It's time to kick off the perfect tailgate and take your team to Ingles. Chips and guac made fresh in store every day. The best meat in town packaged fresh every day. And smiling faces giving you their best every day. Let's be real. In the South, football season is our favorite season of the year. There's a lot to smile about, especially with deals like these. Ingles. Low prices, love the savings.
This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. freedom in fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dales available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dales salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your denim. Though we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Cot?
We're back in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Tonight is Thursday Night Football. Buffalo Bills, Miami Dolphins in Miami. Josh Allen has owned the Miami Dolphins in his career. 10-2 record against the Dolphins. He does seem to have the best games of his career against this team.
He does love playing against the Miami Dolphins.
And he's coming off an MVP-type performance last week where he had to carry this team to a win over the Arizona Cardinals. Miami did not look sharp last week.
They did not.
I just keep coming back to who is going to guard Tyreek Hill. And I believe the answer is nobody, baby. Not going to happen.
I don't disagree with you. I'm also not sure that I care.
Really?
I don't really care. Buffalo has found a way to deal with Miami time and time again. Didn't matter about injuries, didn't matter about anything else. This feels like schematically a bad matchup for Miami, and it has been. I don't feel nearly as confident here as I have in the past, but I really like Josh Allen tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to find a way to get Dalton Kincaid involved. I think they're going to find a way to get James Cook involved. And don't be shocked if you see a big old biggin to my friend and yours, Keon Coleman.
Mm-hmm.
He's real good at football.
I was going to say.
I tried to tell you that. Everybody's worried about how fast he runs in a straight line. Maybe you should just worry about the fact he's a dog.
Uh-huh. I guess speaking of, who you got tonight?
All right, I'm breaking the poodle rule because I got 5 legs on this. Didn't mean to, just happened that way. I'm taking Jeff Wilson, anytime touchdown scorer. Somebody is going to score rushing touchdowns. I have this weird feeling about Devon Achane that it's, even if he plays, maybe there's you said pitch count the other day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's necessarily a pitch count. It's if he's on the field, he's probably getting the ball. What that could lead to is you see some shifts, especially inside the 10-yard line. Wilson's on the field because they're going to use him as pass blocker. He winds up getting the carry. He winds up in the end zone. That's how I got there. Over 225 passing yards for Josh Allen. Over 250 passing yards for Tua Tagovailoa. 2+ passing touchdowns for Josh Allen. Would you like to hear the list of times he's played the Miami Dolphins and not thrown for 2 touchdowns? Would you like to hear it again? Because it's never happened.
Mm-hmm.
And Buffalo Bills in the money line. If you take that to DraftKings Sportsbook, put $5 on it just like I did, a bad boy pays $75. It's 15 times your money. And it's just that simple. And you know why it's just that simple? Because DraftKings Sportsbook, official sports betting partner of the NFL, where you can bet on everything from who's going to win to who's going to score touchdowns. And if you're new to the betting experience, there's no better way to bet the NFL than, hey, who's just going to score a touchdown? Find a player you like. In some cases, you can 5, 6, 7x your money if you're spicy enough. And all of those things are yours with the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Score big with the DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns, lines, and all things football. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code WPEK. That's code WPEK for new customers to get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 and get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball. NFL Plus Premium offer available only to new and former NFL Plus subscribers. Additional NFL Plus Premium terms at NFL.com/terms.
This is the Sportsocracy. We'll be back with you tomorrow here on ESPN Asheville and the YouTubes and the iHeartRadio app with a
Football Friday.
All the picks coming your way. We'll see you then at noon.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Clouds in this afternoon, a southeast breeze, and probably climbing just above 70 degrees. And then as we watch what's left of Francine continue to weaken and go well west of us, some of the eastern edges of the precipitation start to spread some showers in here tonight. 60. Scattered showers, maybe an afternoon thunderstorm tomorrow near 70 degrees with a gusty breeze. Friday night and Saturday, scattered showers and thunderstorms. At this point, doesn't look like widespread heavy rain or severe weather. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Foundation Solutions.
Serving Western North Carolina for more than 30 years, Foundation Solutions has the expertise to fix any foundation problem you have. Foundation Solutions ensures a durable foundation that stands the test of time. Call 828-768-2208 for your no-cost consultation today.
Did you know you can now use your body's own healing properties to revitalize your achy joints and get real lasting pain relief? I'm talking about advanced regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. If you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulder, this is something you need to check out. Everybody's talking about regenerative medicine, and the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics are experts in these amazing treatments. People here rave about the results. You can enhance your joints, improve mobility, and get back to doing the stuff you love without pain and without drugs or surgery or downtime. Under the leadership of Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting breakthrough using cellular therapies. They've got tens of thousands of satisfied patients, and the consultation is totally free. So call now. Take action to get lasting joint pain relief with help from QC Kinetics. Call 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Hi, this is Terry Wells, and I'm running for Buncombe County Commissioner in the November 5th general election. Have your voice be heard. Make sure you register to vote today. Your vote counts.
This has been a public service announcement from iHeartMedia Asheville.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.